And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Tribe Talks podcast. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Supposedly, we talk about Galaxy of Heroes on this here podcast. Today, we are joined by Carthrick and special guest Canada Fett. How you doing, brother? Thank you for joining us tonight.
I'm great, and I appreciate you guys inviting me. Looking forward to
Very
chatting with you
welcome.
guys.
I say tonight. It probably isn't tonight for you, is it? It's like this afternoon or some shit.
Midday.
It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon right now.
So drinking whiskey maybe is off the table for you at the moment, but that's I'll drink plenty for
Kid
you.
was up all night, so.
Oh, right. That sounds like more of a reason to drink.
Yeah, be a responsible parent.
Being a responsible parent, goddamn. So, Canada Fett, you are a prominent member of the community, but how about you give yourself a little introduction so people at home know who you are, what you're known for, because you've got a bit of a reputation.
I guess started in 2018, Shard in the game. Didn't even find Discord until I want to say COVID, like 2020. So I was getting advice from like Reddit. I was a pretty casual player at the start, and then when I found the Discards and started finding the communities that knew what they were talking about and stuff, got a little bit better. My first guild was a in-clan or in-game search guild.
Yeah.
And then my second one was Rise of the Fallen, which just disbanded, and I ran with them for 6 years, I guess, or whatever.
I was going to say, you must have been with them for a long time.
Yeah, and it was a great group of guys, but a lot of the leaders stepped down. It was all at the same time. I actually thought about maybe stepping away from the game, but coming into winter, it's always slower for me, and I've kind of got a little bit reinvigorated, I guess, with these Necrons, Relic Delta. Everything was so stagnant in PvP that like when Relic Delta came, I'm like, it's something, it's something that you can manipulate and stuff like that. Known for theory crafting D teams primarily. Like I don't really care about offense. If I find something, it's usually trying to help TW officers. That's about my extent of offense stuff. But yeah, I used to Beacon Pod. I just before he quit the game, I started a theory crafting channel with Clash, if you remember the old Scoundrel server leader.
Yeah, of course. I remember Clash. He was a good dude.
We recorded 3 podcasts, released 2, and then he's like, hey, I gotta quit. Real life's becoming too serious. So, and then, just been like, you guys invited me, the Gambit guys have invited me and stuff. So and it fits me perfectly. Like I've thought about, doing my own pod again, but I'm just so busy. I think if I ever do anything, I might just start, because I do have a channel from back in the day on Twitch. I might just pop on and just start doing like some decrafts on like a Tuesday night before lock or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my I guess history of the game and where I am with a lot in between. But yeah,
sick, dude. I didn't realize we'd started. We must have started about the same time because I'm a 2018 guy as well. I started in like June, July 2018, something like that. So yeah, we've been playing, and you have a particular style, like you say, the D tier teams that you find wacky combos and stuff like that to come out with the obscure counter. Is setting bizarre defenses, from what I recall in GAC, stuff that can really trip up your opponent, right?
I think a lot of my success in the game comes from I have a motto, and it's, can you find it on Insight? And if you can't, then you have to actually think through kits and stuff. So my theory crafting falls apart when I get into about top 250 because it's good players that can just dissect teams and take you out, right?
Yeah.
But when I'm kind of below that, I seem to do fairly well with those teams because they can't find it on Insight. And I always say on a Necrons that week 1's my favorite because it's just like Christmas, and I usually, even no matter where I am, I usually go 2-1 or 3-0 because I can just put, and then people see what I set, and I like having fun with it too. I'm constantly like I'll cycle out teams like every match, let alone week, right? So
oh wow, no, like the most I usually do is like maybe I will change 1 or 2 teams a week. I'm like, that one's not really working for me. Let's swap this one out. Or I got fucked by this thing on defense. I need this team to counter it. Let's pull that off. And then scratch my head thinking about what else I can place on defense and hope for the best. So changing setups every single match is that's next level. Garth, not even you do that, right? You just alternate full fuck you defense and
It just depends on how much I talk to Canada, to be honest with you. Like, if we start going down the rabbit hole, I'll just like start being like, I've got the mods, I got the Datacrons, I'll just move it around and have some fun. So we were talking prior to the week of this, locking in with doing some stuff with Tuskens and Dash. And so week one or round one, my opponent went really light. So they were able just to kind of raffle some the defense. In fact, the only reason I lost to them is because they used the Omega Vader combo, and I was forced to drop a battle on it, but it was fine. The second round, though, those teams caught holds, so they were trying to skate by on what they could do, because I have a front wall with no GLs, and so people are terrified of how many GLs are on the back wall. So they tried skating by and ate it in the shorts. They lost to the Tuskens. They lost to the Dash team. Both have the attacker.
What's this Dash team you tell me about?
It's just Dash, L3 and Nest, but Nest is modded for speed and offense.
Okay.
So she goes right behind Dash, and Dash just layers the board with a bunch of
debuffs, right?
Debuffs, gets that in play, and then Nest comes up with the AoE, and usually will, if they're not thinking about it, she'll wind up a big enough hit to knock somebody out, and then it's a 2v3. And getting through L3, if you've lost an attacker in 3v3, is just it's nightmarish. She'll take forever because she's Relic 9. She's thicker than a Snicker, and so she just.
I mean, maybe yours is Garth, mine isn't. All right.
For 7 checking in. I've been bumping up some to R8. And I took all my pirates up just today because
Nice.
I've been using Kicks and Healercron for my LV counter, and it's been very consistent for me. I used bulk the first 2 matches and won, but
nice.
Healer seemed way safer because you get like I think 3 or 4 revives depending on who's gone and who's targeted first. With I do Shmi as the third.
Yeah.
And with his unique as well. So you have so many revives. And the biggest problem with that LV counter is the opener, right? So you got to get through the first crush and then the first Apo AoE. And then you're usually okay. And then when you're using Healercron, obviously with no revives, it's just a race to ult. But usually I have more than enough damage. But I was like, you know what? If I R8 Kicks and I R8, who was my last pirate that wasn't up yet? Athano, I think. I was like, whatever. I can mix and match kind of everywhere now, especially in 3s. I think at least while Pirate Crons are on, but maybe even in the future, I think you can run like 3 legit teams that are 2
Pirate
for sure.
faction is really good. I'll be honest.
They are, and a lot of synergy there too.
They caught a lot of flack, obviously, because people were like, "Who the fuck are these guys? Why do I care?" Right? But the actual kits are actually really cool. They all play really fun. I've enjoyed the Pirates probably more than any other faction, certainly more than Mace. Definitely more than Mace.
That's a low bar to pass.
It is a low bar to pass. I mean, I keep on hoping Mace is going to do stuff. I still find him with the attacker cron is still kind of cool in 3s at least. But
they really limited his capability of outside of TW because so much stuff is like you have to make it's kind of like the Bad Batch all over, the Bad Batch version 2 all over again. There is a mechanic you have to pay attention to. And if you ignore it, your team will underperform always and forever. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, if you were doing everything properly, it's fine. But
AI dumb.
If you're just gonna, roll your face over the keyboard or phone screen, then you're not really gonna have the same output performance that you would see normally.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm sure you talked about it on your streams a million times already, Scribe. But since Karth brought up the Omega team, we have to address the elephant in the room. And I was going to say when you opened up the pod that I'm like, oh, Scribe, I'm sure you had a not very interesting week. Not much happening in your life.
Omega team? I'm confused now. What am I missing? Oh, sorry, Omega Vader. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, no, I don't know why you thought that was interesting. I mean, come on. Come on. I can't throw out a video like that and get no flack.
I have a take on this, and I know all the flack and everything like that. So obviously the lesson learned is never before Gaklock. But
it's slow your roll.
Said, I do think people that were on the hate train, and I actually said this in some Discords, I'm like, I've been in this game long enough that I know when something's low level and it is only among, a dozen people or 20 or whatever.
Mhm.
CG doesn't really address it very quickly.
No.
I know they had a report in for it. Like Bert
Yep.
is my Vertigo's my good friend, and I think he actually submitted it the day before, he said.
Mhm.
And so my side of this is say we you did it where you released the video after lock or whatever. Here's where I think the scenario would have been, or say you didn't even release the video and just left it for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the first week or the first match, some
Mhm.
people will set it, like the guy that discovered it and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you get screenshotted, it gets spread around. Now
Mhm.
we're on Friday, in the PM, like closer to where CG has like 2 hours to do a fix before they're leaving Pacific time.
Yeah.
I don't think they're fixing it there. And then you're on Sunday, and it's probably everywhere because shit in
Yeah.
this game, it spreads like wildfire within 5 days. So I just think the problem that would have had to been addressed instead of being Wednesday would have been Sunday, because it would have just gained steam, and then by next week I think the amount of anger would have been the same, is all I'm saying. And I
Yeah.
think
People
when
would have been
you're
angry regardless.
yeah, when you're drawing attention to it, I think things get fixed in this game. So I'll defend you on that in the sense of like, I think drawing attention to things makes CG move quicker because they're like, oh, everyone's dropping this. It's completely unfair.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
And again, it's just the days that were different. The only difference is like maybe, yeah, you drop the video afterwards, and maybe they get in there by Thursday or Friday, by drawing attention to it that way, especially because they were popping up in like Squad Arena, right? So whenever you can't
Yeah.
even jump on Squad Arena. I think maybe it would have got fixed Thursday or Friday then. So yeah, I don't know. I think there was a little bit overreaction. I do completely understand it's just
Yeah.
horrible timing, right? And
Yeah.
and
I
and
get
everything
people
I've heard
getting
you
pissed.
say, it's like live and learn, right? So I think people just need to
Absolutely.
not
And
hate so much
and
about
I was
it. And
talking to Karth about it, like after I did it, I was like, I genuinely wasn't even thinking about gack locking. I was just
Yeah.
like, holy shit, this is awful. Do a video quick. That's my job. and I put it out, and then I put it out, and then I went, well, I better go live. It's gack soon. And I forgot about it because I was just live streaming. And then I was like, finished the live stream, and I was like, oh shit. Oh no.
A little spicy out there.
So yeah, and listen, man. I got quite a bit of hate for it, but I also don't want to overplay it. There was it's like 5% of people that watched that video that gave me shit about it, and I said, like, rightfully so. Yeah, it was fucked up. Maybe I shouldn't have done it quite that way. But I do think that placing those eyes on it, like you said, I do think that got it fixed a little bit quicker than if we'd have just left it, because it got fixed in one round of GAC instead of 3. Right? Because it would have got picked up pretty quick. As in, like you said, the community would have picked it up. As soon as round 1 ends, it would be all over Reddit.
Yeah, it would be like 20, maybe 10 people said it Wednesday, with the screenshots and stuff. That translates to like 250, but it's not exponential. It goes, parabolic when it starts spreading. So, and then probably by the Sunday you would have had 250, and then by Sunday you probably have easily 1,000 plus setting it, right? And and then it becomes a big problem. But
that's how I felt about it, though. It's like, for me, it's like when I start getting things DM'd to me, like, cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
Like, people know.
Yeah.
Like, there's no longer a surprise there. Like, if people start coming to me like, oh, what do you think about this? How does this work? Is there a way around this? Is like, if someone's bringing me this, like, it's no longer a secret. And so it's like, you put a spotlight on it. It drew more people to do it. Some people unfortunately lost their round because of using that team, but at the same time, like my response to a lot of people was like, if 700 crystals is that big of a deal for you, I think you might need to do a little bit of a reevaluation of your life.
Can I also shit on the like people that were defending it because of that exact argument? Right? There were so many screenshots. I was like, I'm free to play it. This is how I get my crystals, man. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you not understand how the GAC system is set up? Unless you are in the top bracket, the top 8. 5 and 4 is your destiny over time, averaged out. It just is. And when you could go 6 and 3 when they used to have the massive drops in your ranking.
Yeah.
The bleed or whatever you call it. But even now they fixed that where it's not as severe, and it's like 5-4. So you go 8-1 one season. Well, the next season you're probably going 2-7. Like it's just that's
You're
the way
getting
it's set up.
dunked on
So that
anyways.
argument, and I know you shit on them or said don't set it, and there's some people that were upset about that. But at the end of the day, some of the screenshots I seen with people defending it, I'm like,
dude,
give your head a fucking shake, man. Like and again, it's like. I've gotten into shit in this game. I've said before, I've grown a lot in this game. I used to be that kind of, pardon my French, cunty kind of guy that would, not necessarily defend bugs
it's
or whatever,
good,
but like some of the ones that were like mild bugs, or not game breaking, just like beatable, but an exploit still or whatever. I was like, I'm gonna set it. I famously had some clashes with Solo over that in the past, but I've grown. I'm like, okay, spirit of the game, and like Kurt said, like what's 700 crystals and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, it's like. There should be some fair play element to this game, especially on the top level. I think the shitheads in like, the lower levels, they kind of don't know what they're doing, and they're just like, oh, broken team. So I'll give them a pass. But when you're like above, like even Kyber 3, like what you're doing, like and those people are like anybody that was defending that, I'm like, give your head a shake. So if you said it. And there was a few people I think that said it in quick impulse because of the timing with the video and stuff.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
And I've seen some screenshots, and you're like, "Yeah, I fucked up. Like, do you guys want to just go bot versus bot or whatever?" So most of the people are good, but man, I've seen enough screenshots. Like, oh, I need my crystals, or
I mean, I saw some people in my own guild that were like, they said it and they got called out, and then they said, "Look, guys, I'm not going to attack. Like, go ahead, you've got the win. It's free. Yeah, I've said it. I was just like, people panic said it, like you said." And some of them have been good sports about it. Some of them haven't, but and I've seen some pretty wild stretches of reaching to justify setting that team on defense. Stuff like, oh well, CG put it in the game. It's fair game. I'm not exploiting. I'm not cheating the system. It's like fucking yeah, you are. Like, come on, dude. Like,
unintended consequence. I mean, it is what it is at this junction. I get people were upset by it. I get the reasons why, you put a spotlight on a situation that didn't really need it. But my understanding of how things played out, I think if you hadn't done the video, it would not have been fixed by the second round.
I don't think so. No chance.
Because of he's not getting anything done past your Pacific time card. They're like, it's like 1 o'clock Pacific on a Friday is your limit. If it's not fixed by then, it's not fixed for the weekend.
And if I remember the tea leaves correctly, they intended for that to get fixed for the last update, and it ended up being missed. Mm-hmm. And so if we hadn't brought the attention back around to it, they may not have prioritized it by the time this ended. We would have gotten all 3 rounds with it sitting there.
That's because I spoke to Meathead basically about it the very next day. Because obviously by the time I'd finished my GAC, it was late. I went to bed, got up in the morning, and I had to wait for Meathead to wake up because it's like 2 a.m. when I'm up. So I waited for him to go up, and I was immediately starting in. I was like, what's the chances we can get this fixed like now? and he told me then, he was like,
on. Help me out here.
Yeah, like seriously, they're putting me on blast pretty hard.
Death threats.
I was like, what's the chances? And he was like, wait, that didn't go live with that it wasn't fixed in the last update? I was like, no. He's like, shit. I was like, okay, well, let's see what you can do, buddy. And fortunately, they did fix it. And this is one of the things that I want to see when this round ends, this week ends. I want to check insights to see how many people got caught off in round 2 with it still on defense and being like, fuck you. And I hope they lost.
I had Gildy actually post one, but he ended up winning, and then the guy sent him this dickhole message about after he lost. Of course, if he won, I think he'd be a little bit more humble. But after the guy that said it lost, then he sent a message like, F you.
Could you imagine setting that and still losing? Like,
yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Well, there was.
A bit
I
of an
think your video
time.
your video actually had the 2 bad batch setting, right?
Yeah,
and
because
then that was beatable, but still tough because you had to work around letting Omega revive, and then killing Retro or whoever else.
But that was the thing. That goes to show like how knee jerk that video actually was. I wasn't even thinking through the thing. I was like, hang on, like, why you could just have just Omega and anything, right? And then it's just like, oh, you fucked. I didn't even think that far ahead. I was just like, oh crap, okay, cool.
To be fair, I think that's what probably bought you the most flack for a lot of people, was
Mm.
because you had made the announcement after the fact of that team
That's
comp.
what I heard too. I don't think the
And
video was as bad. It was the ping in your Discord, I think, for the,
yeah,
oh,
but
this is actually the broken team. That
Mm.
was, I think, the worst part of it. Yeah.
the unfortunate part for you, Scribe, in particular, is that I don't know how aware of you are of how many people have your announcement bar linked to their Discord. So
I have no idea.
when you sent out in your Discord, it went in a lot of places and probably actually was more widespread than your original video was.
Yeah, I think
so
the
I
original
think that's
video
what bought
had,
you
like,
a lot of flack. Was like,
I think so.
I think it was like
hey,
10,000.
shit's broken, and then you're like, but this is even worse. And everyone's like, why'd you say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah. That's a very good point. I have no idea where that goes, because it is just an announcement channel, and anybody can link that to like their own Discord. That I wonder if I can see how many people, because that's quite scary. I didn't think about that.
Parth said it earlier, like the top end, you get DMs, it spreads like wildfire.
It
like
does.
Everybody has their Discord, like, channels that they go into, but almost everybody I know has like DMs or separate channels with like 3 or 4 or 5 people in them, and it would spread from there. But yeah, no, I don't know. Everything you said, you're like, yeah, I fucked up. Live and learn. I'll know for next time. Like, wait for lock. Like, and even other content creators, it's like, if you do something like this again, with how much controversy there was on this, like I seen a lot of memes of like, oh, Arnold's just pissed that he didn't get it in first, and blah 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 like that. So I think for content creators, it's like, if you want to bring attention to it, I do think that's I played this game long enough. You can disagree with my opinion on this. I strongly feel like drawing attention to something on mass scale will get a fix much faster than going through the channels, and I do not think it stays low even if it was 5-10 people. It can't. We've seen the Game Changers was like 8 people, and they were leaking the whole cron mess from back in the day. So I think stuff spreads really quickly, and we've seen enough times before. We have like videos, screenshots, and we'll send it to EA, and they're like, we can't replicate your results. Like that's like that's a meme joke. So when everybody's happening, it's like, hey, I can't kill it. It's like, oh fuck, this is a real thing we have to fix
exactly.
It, right? So and I know you've been a content creator long enough. You just gotta. There's gonna be people that hate you for a million reasons, and and when you start, I'm sure you were like this, Scribe. You're probably like, oh man, you're reading all these comments, they like personally affect you, and you're like, oh man, I feel like shit today. You know what I mean? And I remember when I started popping on the podcast, and I was like not as knowledgeable at the game now. I mean, like back then it was like 2% game knowledge. Now I'm up to at least like 7. But I remember, I'd get a comment on like, this guy's an idiot, blah, 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 and it would affect me now. But now I've done enough of these things, and I'm comfortable, and I'm just like, like what I know is what I know, and I'm just giving my opinion. I know I'm not an expert on this game or whatever. And when I get like hateful comments, I'm like, I don't even really care. And that's why I'm in a good place in this game. And I'm sure you're like that as a content creator, because there's just going to be people that hate you for a multitude of reasons.
There's like most of the times it's fine. Like, you get the odd dickhead who's just wants to big dick swing in your comment section, hide behind a keyboard, and that's fine. People will be dicks about things a lot of the time, and that doesn't bother me. It's when people get like really personal about shit, that's when I draw a line on things, because there's some stuff you can be a dick, but you don't have to be like fucking real personal about it and bring out parts of my personal life and make me feel shit about that. That's usually where I draw the line. But no, like after 5 years of content creator, you grow thick skin. You're just like, all right. Okay.
And partly I'm gonna step out on a limb and say to the general Swoga audience, like, you can blame content creators, but when it's your job, like, clicks means money, right? So I know there's a lot of controversy on this. They're like, oh, Doomer post and blah 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 blah. The audience is at fault here. I say this a million times before. If you want positive videos, if you want technical videos, if you want informative videos, watch those, because the Doomer videos get the clicks. So again, content creators are trying to make money. You can be the high and mighty. You can be the high and mighty streamer that's like, I'm only going to do content I believe in and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But I strongly think like there is a fine line between, is this your job or are you just trying to have fun with it, right? It's not my job. So I can claim the high road or whatever, because I'm like, it's not my money. It's not my source of income. But when clicks drive revenue, It's on the audience. I'm sorry to say, start watching the informative videos then. Start watching the optimistic videos. If you want change, this is what's driving clicks. And I'm sorry, you might not want to hear that. Like, as the audience, you might not want to hear it, but it's the absolute truth. I said that 4 years ago with Arnold. I'm like, dude knows what he's doing. He's making money off this. You can have a problem with it, but this is his job, and he's making money off it, and he knows what he's doing. So I will say that nothing about how he plays his game or knowledge. His job, he knows what he's doing. He makes money off of it.
Yeah, it's 100% the case. That doesn't mean that like videos that I put out are just there to be sensationalist and shit like that. There's always going to be an element of that, because you're right. Me putting out videos puts food on my table and pays my bills. You telling me you're gonna get mad at the service person in Burger King because he smiled at you and said "Have a nice day"? Like, fuck no.
Yes.
Like,
yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean?
I've even talked with Xerath, and he was one of the first, like, I guess, content creators that I kind of got in with. And like, yeah, some of the I'm just fascinated by it. And like, kind of earlier, I was thinking about maybe doing it or whatever. And he talked about like, yeah, you change your font, and all of a sudden on the thumbnail, like thumbnails, like it's so many things that are grabby and catchy, and it's like how people click on things, right? So there is a little bit of a science to it. And I do think there is a gray area of like, yeah, you got to put your name behind it at the end of the day. And I think crossing that, like that's the thing. If the line is here, if you're always under the line, you're not really feathering the line at all. If you're trying to be in that gray area, you're going to cross the line sometimes. It happens. And yeah, you get flack like this, but whatever. I think everything you said is fine, and people just need to grow up. And the only reason I brought it up is like, I played this game long enough. I know drawing attention to shit gets it fixed instantly. And you can say, well, it got fixed and it was in the report and people had send in and stuff. You can have that argument, and I'll listen to that, and that's fine. And you're entitled to your opinion. My opinion is the amount of time I've been playing is like Car said. I think the weekend would have been, instead of a Wednesday, you would have had a medium bad Friday and a really bad Sunday, and it would have been fixed by Tuesday.
Well, and that's the problem that comes with any controversy like this in a nutshell is that the second the argument walks away from what we can see versus the whataboutisms, it's like, I can't give you a reality in which Scribe didn't post the video before lock-in and CG didn't fix it till Tuesday. Like, that doesn't exist anymore. So we can't sit here and Thanos our way out of the argument into a legitimate, like, oh my God, yeah, if he hadn't have done this, they wouldn't have fixed it. It never would have came up. We would have dealt for it all week, maybe next week. We don't know anymore. It's like, yeah. So it's like, we can all just take it with what we want to take. But if people want to be negative towards a content creator because they don't agree with what they did, it's like, that's fine. That's your opinion on somebody. You don't have to like everybody in this life. That's great. But it's like, for me, the issue I took a lot of people ended up being the level of malice they were kind of throwing out at, just like that that they're borderlining an evil person. And I'm like, really? That's what's going to draw the line for you? Is somebody put out a video that maybe cost you 700 crystals, and now you're going to be like, they're not Hitler per se, but they're adjacent. It's just it's really close. It's like what do you mean? Like, it's so stupid. And I that's where I kind of got upset about it. It was just like, yeah, I get it. You shouldn't have, before locking was kind of a bad timing. Yeah. You owned up to it. You apologized. You're doing what you can with it. That's all fine. But people are going to walk away with that taste in their mouth. I'm like, I don't know why you attribute such malice to, because there were Discords where people were just like, 0 out of 10 integrity, terrible person. They did this just for money. And I'm like, well, yeah, of course he did it for money. That's what he makes videos for in a nutshell. But, I don't know if I would attribute such negative comments to it.
when it comes to like, first of all, Ludog, thank you so much for the $10 donation, brother. You're awesome, dude. Yeah, like the people that talk about like, you did it for money. It's like, dude, I could have waited until after lock-in. I would have got the same amount of views. I would have got the same amount of money. Like, I wasn't going to not do the video. Like, it was still coming out.
You just said earlier when we were talking about it, like, you didn't even put two and two together. You just put it out and you're like, oh, start, finalize my team for defense or whatever. Let's focus on GAC. And Karth was just saying, like, what's the old saying about politicians, like, don't prescribe malevolence when ignorance is the opposite. Ignorance and incompetence is the obvious explanation. So Scribe's not evil. He's just dumb.
I'm just stupid, guys. That's all it is. And it's
Sorry,
yeah,
He
that's
went-
absolutely
I
true.
He
had to
went-
get that in.
Ooh, shiny, and then posted the video.
Yeah,
And then after
I got
that, it's like,
complete tunnel
oh.
vision, you know, and it happens in my work life as well. You know, I'll do something and I'll be like, oh, I got to do this real quick, fucking do, and they'll be like, whoa, now did you think about this? And I go, fuck. No, obviously I don't say fuck because I'm professional in my day job, obviously. But yeah, no, it was silly. But there we go.
I'll live and learn. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
live and
had to
learn,
draw attention
absolutely.
to it just coming on today because I knew it'd be the elephant in the
Oh
room. So
yeah, to be honest, I'd actually forgotten about it, but
you'd moved on.
I'd already moved on. My ADHD had filed that under no longer relevant. And been like, okay,
You'll
you
no,
can
you'll be
delete
on the
that.
list now of Darth Microtransaction and who is the other one that dropped bugs and everybody gets blamed for it.
Oh,
Swoga fans, it's like drama in
Yeah.
this community is like top notch, man. That old
Yeah.
TW server going in there, that was like my fill of entertainment for the day. This game's a lot more fun in the community actually when you, like I said, stop worrying about the drama, like stop worrying about what you'll say or getting sucked into it and just like observing it and watching it and you're like, oh yeah, this is get your popcorn out and just start.
yeah, for real, for real.
This community loves its drama, let's be honest. And CG has a habit of I always say like dropping 6 months worth of content in one meathead post. So in between those 6 months there's a lot of downtime, if you will, or whatever. So then there's just time to
we
talk
get
about the next
antsy, right?
drama.
We get antsy,
Yeah.
and we got to find some bone to pick somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, tons of fun this weekend. And I had a fucking fantastic Friday night GAC. That was a good match that I had on Friday night. How's your guys' GACs gone this week so far?
You can go ahead, Karth, and I'll.
Oh, my alt, I did a dum last week and went 3-0, and so now my alt's getting its
Yeah, you shut
dick
yourself in
stood
the
on.
dick. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be cute. I'm like, I could easily win it. I'm gonna. And then this week he's been like, that's why I don't do this, because now I'm way too high, and this account I don't focus on nearly as much as my main, and so it's like I can't care enough. It's just like I'm starting to find people that actually stat reroll on their Kron instead of just having the right level 6. They've got a Vader Kron with 70% protection and 100% crit damage and the right level 3/6 on it and everything else that goes with it. So it's just like, okay, so yeah, that counter doesn't work as well anymore, and so it's hard to replicate when like the mod depth isn't there and your own Datacrons aren't as powerful, because like the Bane Kron that I use on my main account has like 60% health and armor penetration and everything else that goes with it to make it powerful. I don't have one that is that good on the alt, because I'm not going to re-roll for the stats on it. And so it's like when you start fighting people that do that, it's like no. So my alt's been taking it. I'm 0-2 going into the third round. My main account, I lost the first one by 12 banners, which I would have won had he not set the Omega Vader team.
Sorry, Garth.
Things I don't care about. I just like it was shitty, but I mean, the funny part to me is I was in the opposite boat. By you bringing the video to the attention, it made me think about how to deal with it. I had conversations with other people on how to deal with it, so I was able to develop a 2-tap. I went in with Savage and Treya, and then knocked down one, let them recover, and then was able to knock out Omega, and then go back a second time and clear out the team. Now, oddly enough, it's Omega's unique, so when she died, Wrecker shouldn't have gone captive, but since it ties it to the leader ability, I guess it kind of is like a second leader. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
but
it's the unique that's tied to the leadership. It's not her. Yeah, it's weird setup.
Yeah,
isn't it?
It's not her leadership that grants the captured.
Yeah.
So, anyways, whatever. It is what it is. But I was able to get her out and then deal with it. So I was one of the people that actually benefited from the video because it gave me time to think about how to actually deal with it. For when I saw it. Now, if they set the Dick team and didn't put Wrecker in there, then I would have been stuck there. But either which way. So I lost that one by 12. So if I didn't drop the one battle, I would have won by 8 and called it a day. The second round, my opponent must have threw their hands up and was very upset with me.
No.
Because they just started. They had like 5 or 6 drop battles, and they had only cleared 8 teams.
Oh God,
So
that's pretty rough.
And they stopped after that point. But like the Tuscan team I had with the Attacker Kron got a hold. The Dash team I had with the Attacker Kron got a hold. So just a couple things like that. He couldn't. I think he gave up because he couldn't beat my Queen Amidala. He had 4 holds on that and quit attacking after that point.
Okay, was that Queenie with Attacker Kron as well?
I believe so. No. Support Kron, but that's because my support Kron has 40% max health and 240% armor pen.
Ooh, that's some good stats.
Yeah. And then bulk on the level 3. So it's a lot to chew through. And
Definitely.
And Padawan Obi-Wan doesn't really give a shit about the Attacker Kron. I mean, he likes it, but it's
nice.
more dependent on what they're attacking on. But that armor pen he loved a lot more, so it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, speaking of that, before I go over mine, you're really starting to see. I've noticed, like with setting my D and checking on insight, which is better and stuff. There's very much a this light side team wants 25% offense or TM, and then this team wants bulk because like there's like 15% difference in some counters on that because
really?
some teams don't care about the speed and they just want the extra bulk.
Yeah.
I had a guildie actually that set my. So yeah, for my week, round one with them not clearing top and bottom, so they only cleared one zone. And the team that I was having a lot of success with, nobody had even multi-shot it. Was the Rex Kron with Rex Lead, Queen Amidala, and
I've heard about this. GK, is it?
GK, yeah. So I think I was the one that like invented that team or whatever because I was peeing around with it in 5s. So I was like, oh shit, there's something here. And nobody cleared it, said it all last week. Nobody even multi-tapped it. Nobody could get through it. And so first round, they got stuck on that top, nice. So they couldn't get to fleet. And then back row was, I forget. I had I think it was, I set Riva, GI, and Malakos with the Attacker Kron. And couldn't get through that or whatever.
So, that's gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just figured like what you lose in the full ink bonus with the revives and Malakos in there, and then you're getting the 5 debuffs right at the start anyway. So that was, and I think a couple of people copied that and said it, and had a couple of, I think Aesop said he said it and had a couple holds with it and stuff. But yeah, and then second round is what like Karth was saying, where you just get to the point where it's like put your hands up and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pretend to try. It was facing I'm 14. And change 14-5 now I think, and it was facing a 16, but he had like I think 15 Attacker Krons at lock after week 1.
Oh god.
And so 70% of his D board was just Attacker Krons, and I was just like failing on like what Karth was saying, like regular I don't think he either saved it for offense or didn't have, maybe used it with Leia, probably with R2 for Rex Kron, I would guess, because that's pretty good. But yeah, he just set regular gas Rex 5s with Attacker Kron, and it was like all the 95% plus counters just failed because of A, relic delta, and then B, just getting stomped. So yeah,
Gas did an AoE, and you're like, shit.
And I did clear, but I was posting my screenshots. It was like in 1887, and I said, would you believe that I was clean on back and fleet? Like I one tapped back and fleet, and that's how much I had to get through just nightmare. Attacker Kron. And then on the flip side, I was like, well, this guy's a very good player, has a lot of Krons. I'll at least see how my D is holding up. And one shot that Queen Amidala team just like totally killed my confidence in it. And the only thing that got a hold, actually surprisingly, Akbar got a hold on fleet, but on ground was I set gas, Cam, and Soka AT
Snips,
and that is like with Attacker Kron super underrated because I see same thing. Another guildie was like, oh, I'm gonna set that, and he actually played Vexitron, and that was one of the battles he dropped. He tried to womp at it, and
just too much damage output, is there?
Yeah, and they're all 3 attackers, right? And then the extra damage from Cam Unique, you get the taunt because you have AT there, Snips still. So
makes sense.
That was really good if you want to set that. But now, I'm feeling my competitive bones a little bit more. So I was talking a little bit with Fatal on his stream. He was running QA versus Ray, and he got it to work with Ezra, and we were kind of trying to figure out turn meter
Okay.
between the operations and what works better between bulk and 25. So I'm going to try that on offense and see if I can get that consistent versus Ray, even though I looked like the data is like 8%
Oh, God.
attack rate, but I think there's something there. And then on the flip side, depending on what comps are set, I know there's some comps that F with it a bit, I think with OG Hondo, maybe against PKH. But I completely swapped up my board. I was just so dejected after losing, even though it was probably just a GP difference and Grons, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I completely reset my board, and I'm going to try and off meta a lot of stuff. And then I brought a lot of GLs and harder teams like Treya. I'm trying this week. Well, into next week, I'll see how it does in this last match. But I'm trying like Darth Vader lead, Freya and Savage with Attacker Kron, because
Okay.
I think that TM loss from all the counters from Savage, and you'll
Savage,
be
yeah.
obviously hitting pretty hard with Attacker Kron there, and attacks out of turn too. I think there's some synergy there. So at worst, it will be a banner muncher, right? I just can't think with somebody dying like when Savage goes down and Vader starts, doing AoEs, and it's going to take forever with Treya there and her Omni and stuff like that too. And I have I think like a decent amount, 35% health on the Kron or whatever too, so that should help with production up and stuff. So yeah, I just went 1-1 and just trying new things, just having fun with it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try and just go super hard GLD almost, and then see if I can get these off counters working and what works where, and then know what I have to save for offense. Same thing with that Reba. I'm sure you guys have seen some videos of like the Reba GI in 8th with Attacker Kron, and 8th's AoE just almost does more than GI's AoE, right?
Am I going a little bit nutty here? But
maybe
if you use C with Darth Vader Kron, like,
well, yeah,
they can't hit C because of Deceived, right? Yeah. They can't kill Darth Vader till they kill C.
Yep.
That's quite gnarly. You throw in armor or something so they can't crit.
Something there. Yeah.
Put that on triple stacks.
Too.
Or what? That's
pretty good.
I want to try that now. Can I jump
in? You got an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Vader's got some fun. Vader Kron has some fun left in it. 100%. We'll kind of see what shakes loose. Because we were talking about this a little bit before the stream started, but there's a lot of things that are going to work in 5s that we haven't seen in a long time. Yeah, and that's going to be kind of fun. Like basically, any team that can get punches out is going to start like punching way up again, because it's like Grievous with Stap on Me is going to get you turning against basically any team that you can gain turn meter against. Troopers are going to do the same thing. Maul Mandos has some of that life in it again. There's a couple other teams that are going to be interesting, more so in 5, just because the amount of things you can put behind it. Saw Luthen's going to be really entertaining in 5s because of the amount of tackers behind it. And a couple other things, like just teams that ramp or have a lot of AoE damage with the Attacker Kron are going to be able to do a lot of nutty punching up. It's going to be a weird 5v5 season starting with the next one, because there's just going to be too many things that beat your GLs with like 65 banner averages. And so it's like everyone's going to have these nutty like triple Omni teams on defense because they have less counters available than the GLs do.
Yeah. Somebody just pointed out that DB has that GL stipulation on the
card, so. But it did make me think, can we do something with Mon Mothma lead Darth Vader? Mon Mothma lead, you can't hit.
I remember people posting about that. Yeah, about that being possible. I'm guessing most moms could probably die to AoEs with what you're.
And a lot of people don't have super high relics on her either, do they? Because she's like R5 requirement, I think, something like that.
Karth's probably at R3 on her, right?
13 or 13, yes. Of course it's R8.
G13, yeah.
I have very little left to R8. I think I've got like 20 Relic 7s left to deal with, but there's been such a massive push to get Relic 9 things. I mean, massive push. My personal push to get things Relic 9'd. Because I want to have some fun when this era eventually ends in another 8 weeks. I want to have all the new teams very high in relics to start testing them.
I definitely want to fuck with the new Vader. Like, I want to play the new Vader.
My concern for a lot of it is going to be, it's going to be one of those teams. Like, a lot of these things are going to be teams that they will function where relics are equal, but disparity is going to cause some faltering.
Mhm.
And so in my neck of the woods, everybody's got R8s and R9s on their team. So I'm like, yeah, I need to have these things ready to go, at that level, just to be able to use them competitively
Yeah.
where I'm going to be at. So I've been taking a lot of them up because I just want to see what they do. Today I took Tarful and Vandor to Relic 9. I'm looking forward to the Chota
Oh,
team in
nice.
8 weeks to test with that. And I've got Boba Sana Django and his squad with the new Asajj that's ready for R9. I got Aphra ready at R9. I'm really want to see what the Stranger, Starkiller, and Spooder Maul will do. Low key, depending on Spooder Maul's kit, that might be my first team where I seriously consider Relic 10ing a lot of the squad, solely
Ah.
for the sake of it looks to be like their next iteration of power creep because of how many Amis are going to be on that one team.
Yeah, what's it going to be? Stranger's got 3, Starkiller's got
Yeah.
3, Spider Maul,
Yeah.
we don't know, but presumably 3.
But I guarantee you Spider Maul will be TW. I guarantee it because if they don't, that's going to be a huge whip. But if they do him as TW, then technically you could run Juhani as a tank, and she's got a TW Ami that you could run with as well.
It's going to get gnarly.
And so there's so much fun to be had on that team that I think it's going to be one of those teams that's they're going to be the early, if it's at a high water mark, it's just going to be really hard to deal with, or it's just going to romple stomp a lot of things. So that's one that I'm looking forward to as well. But again, it's one of those things where for me, if things aren't Relic 8, Relic 9 out the rip, they're going to just underperform now with Relic Delta in play. And so it's without being able to navigate that part, it's just going to be behind. So I would have done more Relic 7 to Relic 8s, but I think in the last 30 days, I've done the better part of 30 R9s. So
God dang, that's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done a lot of R7 to R8. I've done a couple of R9s, but mostly R7 to R8 for me right now.
We were talking before the stream, and I think this is good advice for people are like, oh, what do I R10 or should I get on this? Now, if you're doing it for fun, just do whatever you want because it's for fun and it's pretty cool to send a screenshot of hey, look at my R10 Rolo wiping the board or whatever, right? But if you're trying to be optimal with it, I think a ton of people are getting too heavily influenced from attacker crons. So they're just blindly throwing R10 on LV and they're like, this is going to be awesome forever. Is it good? Great. Sure. I'm sure it is. But once attacker cron is gone, if Bo's still beating R10 LVs on defense, are you going to feel great about that? You know what I mean? Does it change the matchup if they have R7s on the squad? Sure. Because that what Karth was just talking about, that 3 levels is the magic number. 5% at 1 is nothing. 10% at 2 is nothing. 25% at 3 is when you start getting okay, this can change some matchups. And then the 75% at 4 is really, really impactful, right? So
100%.
Leaving something at R7 versus R10 is going to be a big deal there. But so I think if you don't mind waiting, because I don't think an R10 is going to change your matchups that much. Obviously with Attackacron it is, so maybe the time is to get in now. But looking for the future, I would just say wait, because once the dust settles, you got to wait for these Attackacrons to expire before you get a full look at what the meta looks like, because I think there's going to be probably better R10s out there. And I know some people have been on the train of some GLs, especially timeout GLs. I see the Galat specifically for TW because there's so many timeout counters already there, and even GAC too. Forget Tankron or whatever. There's just timeout matchups. So I understand that, but I do think that a lot of people need to start looking in the stat bonuses and who needs that extra crit, who needs that extra. Is it accuracy? What do you get on? No,
you get accuracy, crit avoidance,
potency,
accuracy, crit avoidance, avoidance. Yeah, those 4.
All those, and there's some tunes out there. So I did Ben because it's fun. But 2 is Ben has shit crit chance, right? So I tried to get extra crit out of him.
Special attackers are
you're
usually
sacrificing
pretty shit,
offense
right?
for crit, and then you want him fast because you want to try and get above that EP Mara counter, right? So
Mhm.
you have all these things that you're trying to mod for, and to get an extra 12% on crit chance just off the R10 alone, forget everything else. I was like, well, that and it's fun. That makes an easy decision there. So I do think more of the R10s once these attack crons are gone are going to look at who needs those extra stat bonuses more than the
Yeah.
relic delta difference, right?
For me,
Sure.
on a lot of them, it's going to come down to, for the Relic 10 priority, is going to be like, what makes the most like impactful change. And like, I'm
Mm.
not going to argue that you can do other things, but it's like, for me, it's like you have GL tanks, they get the most boost, most bang for your buck. And then you can move down to GL supports, because they also get a lot of stat increase with it, and so that's all fine. And then after that, it's back to the same old dilemma as Relic 9, which is basically which character either they benefit from the bulk, they benefit from having more relic levels, or you just want to have that extra little bit of stat increase, because it's like gas likes having that little extra protection. Keller and Beck likes having that little bit extra protection.
Mhm.
There's other characters that, like, the Stranger's the one off the top of my head because I know the kid right now, but like he benefits from having the relic levels. Now I know he caps out at I think relic 9
9.
or 10,
Yeah.
or nine total, or yeah, 9 total levels because he gets the base +1. And so there are things that, yeah, you're gonna run out of, but those are the things that you want to look at you doing your high relics on first. Everything beyond that is like you start diving into the niche very quickly. I know Fatal was talking about doing relic 10 Luthen and a couple other relic 10s that have summoners
Oh,
on them,
okay.
because the
Mhm.
the stats summon the attacker, and that relic delta,
Yeah.
between relic delta and the increase, it gives you a little bit more punching power, which is fun. It's interesting to watch
Sure.
them to take the occur, but it's, you kind of have to let everything unfold and see what happens. But the way I look at it is like, you can't really go wrong with a GL because you're always going to want to power creep your GLs. And so it's like, everybody who's running to do like R10 Ezra, like it's not a bad one, but the problem is like it's easily countered, and it doesn't change the counter that already
No,
beats
I
the
don't think
team.
it changes the counters
And so
fundamentally.
that's my only thing about Relic 10 where I'm just like, I don't love it because the one improvement doesn't make a ton of change. But we kind of knew that going into this. The thing that I'll keep sitting on is going, I'm pretty confident we'll get a couple relic levels quickly, and then like we'll level out at like relic 12,
Mhm.
and then we'll get like one a year after that, because otherwise there's just not enough movement in the current system to make it
Mhm.
make sense. So like for me, I'm like, I can't go wrong with a relic or a relic R10 on a GL, because that's going to be something I'm always going to want to keep moving up, and GL squads as well. But the
Sure.
everything beyond that just goes, ugh, do I
Hey,
really
and
want to
then
do that?
maybe eventually we do get to a point where Relic Delta makes a difference in TB. Because, like, hey, you got
Yeah,
Relic 15 now.
yeah.
You can beat those R9 tiers with 150% extra offense.
The funny part with those though is that they're not, the later ones almost get easier
I do
comparatively.
feel they do. Yeah, it's very strange. TB is a weird place. There's too much stat fluffing,
Yeah,
I think, in TB.
but
But, hey.
I'm gonna head us off at the pass here because we've been doing
Okay.
lots of fluff.
I
Canada's got
like
to
a good
go
bit
in
of fluff.
like 20 to 30-ish minutes, so we should probably get to some of the questions that relate specifically for him for Tri Talk.
All right,
Tri Talk.
let's see what we got. Let's do this. Okay, so we had a couple for last week because it was my bad. I thought it was last week that we were having you on Canada Fett, but it was this week. So Evo has a question from last week. Okay, with Canada Fett being on the panel tonight, my question to him is this: what is the craziest defensive team you've come up with that has actually picked up afterwards by the player base and was widely used? So we'll start off with that part.
Well, one for sure was Mace Ami in TW when it was the percent debuffs to offense on a raid team.
Mhm.
And that
Ah.
came out of, I made the original Riva with Ray on the side because, again, it's the exact same what we were just talking about with the debuffs. Like,
Mhm.
you get all those purge out right away. and then Ray ults and just wipes your whole team. So, and that was, I think, a first drop like 2 years ago. So that got widespread. And then I should show you guys my screenshots. Like at the time, Rise was just starting to come up into, like, Karth joined us and remembers, like, for TW, we were essentially had good players, but for time commitment encounters, we were a one-man show in Mr. Shiny. He is, I think, one of the best thought pound for pound players out there. He doesn't get all the new tunes, so he has to, like, kind of just piece it together from kits and asking people to run stuff and that kind of stuff. So I even tried to get him to run it, I remember, and he said no, we were doing something else, and I threw it to Aesop, I think, with Chromium, and I threw it out to, I don't know, I have screenshots of like I'm like, I think this is a thing. And then I remember Fools said that in I think it was Big Chewbacca or Mighty Chlorians, I'm trying to remember who it was, but two people fought him, and one person finally picked up because I brought it up on the roundtable. I'm like, somebody please run this. I guarantee you, it's every light side person is putting out Expose and Shatterpoint. Yeah. Every time a light person takes a turn, you are getting DBUS put out, right? And then finally they ran it, and then that got picked up, and that became meta. So that would probably be the most notable because that actually got play at like high level competitive, I guess. So.
I remember that team. That team was wild. So there was a second part to this. And what is the craziest defensive theory craft you've ever done that wasn't picked up, but still brought you personal success and holds?
I don't. Well, that answer has like 98% viability because
that's like all of my defensive teams. You fuck.
Yeah, they don't always get picked up. I'd have to think a little bit harder about that one. About I think I was one of the main drivers for like Rolo lead with Leia on side and Chupio, because that way you get all the Chupio stats to the team, right? So you take Leia, which still gets her fearless bonus, which is through her unique, but Rolo on top, and they hit really hard. But that didn't really get picked up because I just think not a lot of guilds had high level rollers. Chupio takes from the lead, right? So the higher relic levels your lead is, the better your team. And it's like, what are you going to do? Go tell your old TW guild, or are you going to go R9, R8 roll? No, right? So I would say that one probably would be the one that didn't get picked up.
Who doesn't have that R9 Rolo?
Yeah, dude,
to be honest, to be honest, between Clash and Canada Fett, they're like the 98% reason why my Scoundrel investment was so stacked prior to actually taking like TW seriously. Because I would always do that. I would go spend way too much time in their Discord. We would be chatting about different things, and I'm like, well, I've got the materials. Let's just full send it and have some fun. And so, we would be out there just testing shit and having a good time at it. But it was like, all of a sudden I've got the whole prepared squad at Relic 8, and I've got, all these other scoundrels, just high relics, because that you needed to min-max them, and so that extra damage they got from Relic 8 was really important to punching up. And so it was we did a lot of stuff like that. It was a good time. I do quite miss Clash.
Well, actually, and to give credit to Clash, so when I talked about like the Gambit guys and kind of getting in with them, everybody on the higher end that I ended up getting inroads with was through Clash. So he was already like Aesop was in that Scoundrel Discord, and then was in the Patreon subscriber level, and so I got to know him through there and had a good relationship with him. And then it kind of just splintered out, and I probably wouldn't be doing like these. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't like getting in with Clash. And he was like me, he liked doing weird shit, and he was goofy too, so we would just we'd
I always used to watch his videos,
goofy,
man.
But he was doing goofy. Yeah, he's a good guy, and I think real life just got so busy and stuff like that. So
happens. So good question. Thank you so much, Evo. Next up, we've got Bubba Joe. Bubba Joe says, greetings, Council, Scribe, and Guest Squire Canada Fed. We seek your valor in these troubling times. These are troubling times. Many players are focused on the poorly implemented parts of the anniversary update, and less so on the shifts in relic materials and new marquee free-to-play upgrade path, which are both universally good. If the decision was solely up to you, would CG get candy or coal in their stockings for this holiday season? What do you
Well,
think,
if that was
guys?
written pre make good, I would say Cole for sure.
Yeah,
But that was a pretty decent make good, like 5K crystals, and I think they
I'd
know they
say so.
fucked up. Like it was.
Mm.
And again, what like I talked about, that I've come around on CG. I used to be a big basher. I posted when my Google review was a 1 star after they changed all those Night Sister stuff back in like
Oh God, that's going
2019. Again,
back. Yeah,
before I even like was on the competitive era, right?
yeah,
And then so I changed it to 4 star, and I said, a good game where the community, like this is the game. Let's be honest. Like for a lot
yeah.
of players, the community is way better than the game itself, and
Hmm.
I think CG ignored that for a very long time. If I can be critical of them, I would say in the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, they've embraced it a lot more. And they're
I'd say
like,
so.
oh shit, like the community like does our testing for us. They do our promotion.
Hmm.
All these content creators that are streaming, like bring people together and they talk and stuff like that. So I think they've been doing a lot better job on that. But yeah, that make good was pretty good. I just think it's like what I was saying before, how CG drops like 6 months of content in one day. And Relic
Yeah,
Delta would have been fine by itself. I don't even think Relic Delta was the thing, but Coliseum, like, man, I've been asking people in Gab, I've been talking to people. I would say I have going into Coliseum, I had a 5% grasp on it, and I maybe have like a 30% grasp as far as like star level, total level, like where I'm going to be afterwards, like if
yeah,
there's catch up mechanics, if you're just not, because like for us, like for Karth and like even me, like you too, Scribe, me and you were like the good examples of like, okay, Karth's going to get him, he wants some R9 right away, so he's going to do all the spending to get him there. But you and I, like, the kind of dolphin or
yeah,
mini whale, wherever you're at, I don't really care. It's like, okay, I want Spider Mall, and I don't care to wait a bit, but I need him usable. And so if I get my level up in Coliseum, sure, I'm getting like R10 mats and stuff like that. But like if I have a Relic 3 4-star Spider Mall, like what am I doing with that? I'm not
yeah.
using them in GAC. I'm not using them in TW, right? So I'm like, where can I get them? How long is the catch up in between? Like, there's just a lot of questions that like was not fleshed out. And like I said this before, it might be in post. The information might be out there, but getting that to the player base was a nightmare. And then you
Short
add
answer
all
is
the
not.
bugs
Tricky.
on top of that, like all the bugs within Coliseum
So
or all
many.
the bugs throughout the game too, as well.
Yeah.
I think the make good
Yeah, have you seen
was
what they did with Omega and Darth Vader? That was fucked.
I think the make good was pretty good. Like the 5 crate
It was,
crystals
yeah.
alone was pretty
Well,
solid.
that-
So I would say Candy after the make good.
I had
previous two.
I had somebody in my comment section. I went over that make good, and I was like, the 5K crystals, that's like 30-40 bucks. And there was a guy in my comment section was like, it's not worth anything. That's not real world money. That's just crystals, bro. And I'm like, well, I know it's not actually. They're not actually giving you the money. What I mean is that's kind of the equivalent in cash. Yeah. It's like, I know they're not actually giving you money. It's worthless. 5K crystals, dude. You can do a lot with 5K crystals.
That was some of my feedback to Meathead with this particular launch was specifically around just like, your guy, like the reason this is doing so poorly is because your lack of communication. Like nobody knows anything. There's no good information. We have some stuff from the data mines, but we're not fully flushed out, and we're still writing that, that never ending, like, okay, but like, what's the real answer kind of thing. And so like, that's where they really dropped the ball for me on this particular update. I know there was bugs and stuff and people had their struggles, but that's been addressed and fixed at this junction. But the other one, and I brought this back to Meathead, like I feel like years ago now. Mm-hmm. I just like looked at him like, why are you guys so stingy with make goods? Like you guys are relentlessly stingy with make goods. Like you won't do anything. I'm like, do you realize how little sugar you need to make this community let the medicine go down? Mm-hmm. Like, if you're like, our bad, here's 1,000 crystals. Our bad, here's 500 crystals. Like, just a tangible note of you guys you had a mistake, you fixed it. Here's a little something for the inconvenience. Like, I know a game that I used to play a long time ago that anytime they did anything where the servers had to come offline for like an hour, they were like, yeah, here's free currency. Here's free currency. Please enjoy. Here's a couple of upgrade materials to get you moving back on again for the time you couldn't be playing the game. Mm-hmm. And it's every time they did it. I'm like, I don't understand why you guys are so stingy with giving out make goods. And so I'm hoping this is a growing trend where they just kind of go, yeah, we made a mistake. That's our bad. Have some stuff to compensate, because players, like, once they get that compensation, whether or not it's the equivalent of what they had to struggle with, a lot of people are like, all right, yeah, no, we're good now. We're good. You did bad. You made good. We're fine. But like when they don't do anything, everyone just gets perpetually upset about, well, they never gave me my 1,000 era currency back from that one day I misclicked in Coliseum and did the battle before I did the fight. Like, damn them. It's like, all right, guys, whatever.
But the real question, Kath, is Cole or Sweeties in the stocking?
I mean, I'll give him Cole. No.
I mean, fuck those guys.
Just for me,
anything for me.
I'll give him Cole. No. I mean, I think overall everything outside of Coliseum, like the actual interaction with it, I think was a net positive for the community. And so I can't. They did well with that for the overall community. So a couple bumpy weeks is fine. At least they fixed it before they went on holiday. So
that's fair. Yeah. I'd say overall, I think they deserve candy in their stocking. It's like, I do agree with all the downsides, like, you know, the segregation system, the lack of communication, the bugs. Coliseum as a game mode feels like it's very much an end product thing that you have to enjoy rather than the journey. I don't find the journey enjoyable, but I think that when we've got 5-6 marquees and they're all at like era level 65, I actually think Coliseum could be fun then. But the build up to it, which unfortunately is 90% of an era, it takes too long. It takes too long to get to the part where it's fun. However, the make good is really good. The economy changes are really, really positive. I love the new Lightspeed tokens that they're bringing out, all these journey quests. I love the Lightspeed tokens in the store for era currency. That's so good for new free-to-play players. Just spending 1,000 currency on a Carbonite Lightspeed token to get Gear 12 character, you save yourself 300 Kyrotech. And you can get that in like 10 days, because my free-to-play account, it's a year old, and it gets 100 currency a day out of Coliseum. And it's like that 100 currency, 10 days, I get 300 Kyrotech every 10 days. It's really good. Like, it's such a big jump in progress for early game accounts, and I think it drastically changes the way that we approach farming. I know all of us here are like late game players, so we lose sight of like that setup. I don't know, Canada, if you run like alt accounts and free to play accounts and shit like that as well.
No, I barely have enough time for my main.
That's fair. I don't blame you at all. It's all
but even with the Lightspeed tokens, like I'll even admit, like that one we got, it's like, oh yeah, I have like huge, 10 or 12 tunes that I could bring up from there, right? And it's like ones I'd never look at before, but it's like, okay, I have like Jetty Consular there. It's like, well, he's got a Kron now. Farm Boy Luke. It's like, okay, well, do I want to maybe do some weird stuff with Akbar Almi or whatever, right? Or SDL here coming up.
Yep.
And then so it's like even players like me that are quote unquote late game or whatever, it's like there's still something for me in those Lightspeed tokens. And that's what's cool, is that you can bring up like your useless, where like there's a lot of people in my guild. I got several members talking about like, yeah, I'm trying to get everybody up to, you know, R1 at least, and then if anything happens, I can bring them up quick and blah blah blah. And this is a way to do that. And I don't think the late games like the Karths of the world really care about that, because like they're like, I'm gonna crush you with my mods. So whatever, catch up to me, you're still gonna lose, right? Like
you spelled credit card wrong, and crush you with my credit.
Well, I'm guessing that a lot of credit card purchase went into mod mats for
well, yeah,
because I'm a light spender, and even I've been like, damn, I need some more higher end to
oh, dude, yeah. I look forward to every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. when the mod packs come back.
Yeah,
I need them.
I spend on them sometimes. It's like the mod packs is probably my most frivolous, if you will, spending in this game. I would say, because you just want to get something up and you're like, max it, you know, and see what you can do with the mods. But
okay, I'm just gonna shotgun through a couple of questions. So Kami says over here, what a great name. What are your thoughts on the old farming advice of just dump it into Lightside 7B in view of easier access to Kyrotech and Carbonite circuit boards, or the ability to avoid most Kyros versus Coliseum?
I think it's supposed to be via Coliseum.
Via Coliseum, yeah. So what do you guys do with your regular energy now? Where do you spend that?
I mean, I farm bayonets for impulse detectors with 99% of my energy, just because that's what I need more than anything. But I might need to shift it back to Kairos, because I need arrow mags and droid brains more
Mhm.
than I need, because I can get the impulse detectors with the raid currency. So I might shift back to farming Kyrotech just solely for the fact of being able to get more access to droid brains now that we can farm them. Because I blew through all of mine. I'm down to a few hundred of each now.
And that's what happens when you drop like 30 relic 9s in 2.5
Oh, yeah.
days, Carth. All right?
Yeah. It was a
Med
bit.
packs and anything that
Yeah.
dusts for the
What, like impulse
relic maps,
detectors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
usually
Rogue
do
One for
bayonets.
now, but that's
Oh,
temporary.
yeah, good point. I actually forgot about that for like 2 days,
Oh,
3
it's,
days. I was
it's
like,
my
shit.
favorite, but I got to pull up I'm so old school in this game, you guys. Like I'm so bad with like, I think I've told you guys this before. Like even my mods, I don't use Hotbot to go between raids and
Mhm.
TW and GAC. So I used to joke, well, I hope Apo likes a lot of potency in PvP because I don't want to do 100 raid runs, right? So my mods are set it and forget it. My farming is even like leave all my old G12 characters that have them favorited. It's like, when you get low on something, then you'll know they're right there, right? So
Fair.
I'm probably the least person to ask about efficiency. I'm very boomer farming in this game for how I do everything.
Fair. No, I usually spend my energy on bayonets, but I had being the operative word, like 6,000 of each Kyrotech. So I was like, there's no point in farming Kyrotech. I'll just farm the bayonets because you get your Mark III Siennas from that, so you can break them down into the thingamabobs, into the the other Mark III Siennas for Iridium heatsinks, and then you can use your bayonets to go into impulse detectors. But I did spend about 4,000 of each Kyrotech getting Aeromags and Droid Brains, and now I'm like, my Kyrotech is looking a little bit peaky now again. It's only got 2,000 of each, so I might have to go back.
Shut up.
Karth's is like, I got 20.
I've got like a few hundred because I need to have enough for the stranger.
You've got enough to gear up one character.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, oh dear God.
For the average person, I think it's a much more relevant point to this question with the economy changes that you talked about a while ago there, Scribe, which are excellent, is moving forward, I think you need to tell your guild and be in a guild that is very raid heavy, because
always,
if you are not getting raid mats, you are going to be in a tough spot. And we got pretty lucky, I think, with this raid, with especially
100%.
If people were lacking before, as soon as everybody started getting their PKHs on board, it was like a slam dunk, because if you had enough time, you could run the Hondo and PKH duo, which I know took time or whatever, but you throw another R9 on their Vayne or anybody else that's easy to bring up, and it makes it that much easier. So that's the big thing moving forward, I think, is like you need rated currency, and that's the way the economy is set up now. If you're relicking anything, you need to be in a raid guild, because those changes are just way more beneficial now. So
I'd take raid performance over TB any day. Like,
and throw on top of that too that they moved Bronzium and circuit boards to Mark 1 raid currency as well.
Yes.
Like
so
that is a huge like extra little boost, because you can buy so much with the you can buy 25 of those every refresh, and then on top of everything else you need, and then with moving the Letrium and the Zimbitals down to Mark 2 currency, it's just raid is number one in this game. You need to be in a guild that is reflecting your average raid score. So like, if you're in a guild that's barely getting halfway through and you're doing 7 to 10 million, like you should be looking for a guild that's doing a little bit more than that. Yeah, you're going to struggle in some other areas, but unless you just absolutely refuse to involve yourself with TW and you want to be in a guild where that's not a thing, which I mean, you can still find those that are doing good on the raid, but that's the priority where the rewards are in this game is the raid. So
definitely. Okay, next question is from God Emperor. I won my first Galactic War. Does it mean when I get to 25, I can sim it, or do I need to do it another 9 times? I can't remember. It's been a while. When I did it, you had to do it 50 times.
50, yeah, but I think they lowered it.
I think
they
changed it.
Right.
Yeah. I think you're okay. Straight
I
from
don't know
85
any
now.
questions.
I don't remember. I just remember when you bought the Hyperdrive bundle, it said you automatically get it. So
yeah. So just spend more money, which is the default
$10
response.
now, yeah, at least
$10. Go without coffee for 2 days. You'd be all right. I promise.
You'd be right. All right. Next question comes from Hayden. He says, "Greetings, Scribe. I don't have a question. I just want to express gratitude." Oh, that's not really a question, but thank you, Hayden. Between you, Nooch Too Good, and Sonjita, I'm about to go to Bronzium 2 in GAC. Thanks for all you do. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. What a nice guy. Thank you, Hayden. Stars says, question 1. We should be having a new raid sometime this year. I think he means next year. If we get one this year, I'll be very surprised. What do you think it would be, and what squads? Sort of hoping that it's either a First Order / Thrawn one, and then question 2, what's the next capital ship, do you think? Raid, guys, what do you think? Next raid?
I don't. You got to think they'll include some of these era tunes in there. That's probably going to be a big push, especially because there's not like any pirate overlap, and pirate got shoehorned into this, so that's done. And just moving forward. Fleet, man, I don't know if they're going to touch fleet for a while. I've been like, I'm running out of time. Like a lot of times, you know what, my biggest problem with this game for like being a dolphin spinner, I should be more efficient on my fleet climbs, but everybody's caught up in their fleets now, right? And so just doesn't matter what I set. And I back in the day, I remember I took our Dengar up to R9, and I was like, hey, maybe exec can hold with triple attacker and stuff, and it doesn't. You might get the 1 in 20 RNG, against a R7 ship or whatever. But so I'll spend because of literally time. I'll be like, I'll spend so I only have to climb from 8, or if I don't have time that day, a top 10 payout, or a top 5 more specifically, 4th is fine, right? I'll take my whatever that is, like 100 less.
350 crystals or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, but if I don't have time and I'm like 18 and I get my 100, I'm like, man, I'm losing. I'm probably losing an easy like 5,000 crystals a day or a month by not doing my fleet climbs. And I'm almost begging CG to please switch the meta up. I'm like, I will spend on a new capital ship. I will throw it all for time and convenience, because everybody's caught up in fleet shards, or just bite the bullet. And if they want to get away from fleet less and less, which seems more by just it's easy to add in a marquee, secondary ship, and it does switch up the meta. It does. We've seen that
with the Punishing One and the Rogue One.
Yeah.
And, like,
so I think like they almost seem to be going that. I don't have any hope for fleet next year at all. I don't even know if they would get a. I would say August is the earliest we would see a new capital ship. I was to guess.
We need at least 3 ships, more likely 5, right, before we can have a new fleet, and they've got to give the time for it. So it's not going to happen for months, and we don't. I don't see how they even do that with. They're not going to do marquee ships. They're going to have to do galactic chases again because of how Colosseum works.
No, they can do marquee ships. It'll run independently. They didn't get rid of the framework for the old marquee system. It still exists within the game. They can still run it as an independent event.
I just think that Colosseum is so very much catered towards your progression system with how many marquees that you have. And that's why I think that if they start doing ship marquees, it fucks everything up. Like,
well, you can just run it outside of the event and just have it as an independent event and just let it be what it is.
Well, that's why I think Galactic Chases would have to come back. I don't think
it's an option. I won't argue the point.
But we would need significant numbers of ships.
Everything CG has done just points me to they're trying to get further away from fleet, not more into it.
Their recent interview with the head of Capital Games was talking about like the 37-year plan for this game, which I know is ludicrous, but they did talk about doing more with fleet again. And I think part of that is just that the design space for fleet needs an overhaul for them to effectively dump it out as fast as they do with GLs and everything else that they work with.
Yeah.
Because you can only have an I win button installed for so long before it becomes a problem. And the last 3 metas have all had I delete your capital ship or take it over or whatever ability that makes
feels
it
like they've
work around.
Painted themselves into a bit of a corner when it comes to fleet battles.
Yeah. And so they'll have to figure out kind of a way to counteract that. I would say that if I had to pick the next fleet meta, it would be Imperial Remnant, because it would coincide with probably the Imperial Remnant Thrawn that we're probably going to get following the Ahsoka content. But as for new raid, if the new raid, I would probably put somewhere around like they would do something with Imperial Remnant, because that's a faction they can expound upon quite a bit, with still using like resistance and rebels as part of the raid, with with oddball teams to bring up. But I also would not be surprised if we don't get a new raid this year, because
I would
there's
love that. I can keep claiming top
yeah,
box and top personal rewards for another year. Fuck yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be a new one, but we'll see. I think the next conquest unit will set the tone for if there's a new fleet meta, and then after that, it'll just let us kind of know what their intention is, because the conquest unit will run from February until April, and then they'll have one that coincide with May, and then that'll kind of give us an idea of where they're headed with things, because they're going to want something that goes with the newest GL, and they're going to want something that's going to be another team and whatever else. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's a good question. It's a good question. Not sure what's going to happen. It's way too early. I do think it'll be Throne related if we do get anything raid or fleet.
Yeah, when
personally.
you say that, actually, that makes a lot of sense, because I was thinking like DTMG, you could get a ship, right? There's a lot of options there.
Yeah. Okay,
They
next
do allow
sorry.
space. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you could just Night Sister zombies, you could have Night Trooper just be a ship. He doesn't breathe, so he could just be floating through space, and he could be a ship himself. It should be fine.
Clog up the engines.
Exactly. So Richie Fritch says, sorry, go ahead, Garth.
Oh, no, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Richie Fritch says, has it been tested that the wordy support DC may counter the wordy attacker Datacrons because it dispels the buff and doesn't make the attacker DCs as strong? All I have are theories.
So that's a misunderstanding. The support cron dispels the enemy buffs, and the attacker cron looks at the buffs on the enemy team. So if you're dispelling the opponent, but you still keep yours, it doesn't change the interaction there. So it's the same. The one that kind of does counteract it is actually the wordy healer level 6, the healer on the team, because if you take an unfortunate AoE, everyone revives the first time. So that one will help you counter it if you don't have something that can hard control the opposing team in fives.
Yep.
The other misconception is that accuracy and offense gain on the attacker cron is once the debuffs are applied. So the minute you get the debuffs on, it's done. You've already got the offense gain. So.
It's not a buff. It's not a green buff. It's a buff to their stats. It's an increase to stats. However, that being said, and on the high level, you can use certain support crons to beat an attacker cron on defense. Like we've seen it with the video I released the other day with Imperial Troopers, just because of turn meter gains going first, all that sort of good business, lots of buffs, turn meter looping. You can beat it, but that it's not really as clear cut as support cron trumps attacker crons.
I got a good analogy for rock paper scissors on attacker cron, because we were kind of shitting on Jedi Master Mace Windu earlier and his role in anything non-TW related. So somebody, my last match, the one I got crushed on there, he had set KB, Granny, and Temple Guardian with attacker cron. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just take in Jedi Master Mace Windu, and with attacker cron, he should be able to beat this. Yeah, he got demolished. It wasn't even close. And so I was like, this is the one I was just picking away with my 1885, trying to get it clear. So I was like, all right, what do I have left? And I had the mirror, the exact same team, but I was like, I didn't have attacker crons left, because I think I saved like 2 for offense only. And so I took tank cron for Temple Guardian, and I won easy. It wasn't even close. So I think because of the assists, Granny gets her gun faster, and that was the difference, right?
Yeah, 100%. Fun times. What are your rankings, says Breezy, for Colosseum bosses in terms of difficulty, and why is the Dryax the hardest and stupidest? Any strategies and tips for Colosseum? Dryax does suck. I don't like the Dryax. It feels like their damage output, even though if you try to keep them parity in terms of damage, so that they're not gaining that massive buff, it always feels like those guys just come out swinging and they just kill you so quickly.
Yeah, the strategy with them is to try and even within 10% of damage, but even that is tough, because you got IGA that you want to use as AoE because you want damage on both, but then you're marking one and he's taking all the damage, right? So,
and I think IG gains defense. Is it like 30% defense whenever you use that AoE, so he becomes more survivable as you use it? And yeah.
My least favorite is the ATST, not because of the bug lockout, but just because it has so many
interactions when you've got tenacity up because you resist all of his debuffs, and he's just like, I'm going to take 3 turns.
but the buffs landing, the debuffs landing you are more detrimental than resisting, and so it's like, this is so dumb. Like honestly, I can't tell you how many of these tiers I'm at where it's like there are people at the exact same error level as me that are in the next tier because they get the RNG of the boss not using an ability a couple times throughout the run, and they're able to get that last like I'm like the what the hell is the guy before this one?
They should have given us the ability to daze him.
Yeah.
But
the Tomb Guardians is the easiest for sure because that's the one where you can get to the next level for the new mats, and it's also like today I caught a lucky dodge. I'm at like 39, 42 right now, and I caught a lucky dodge on them with IG right at the end, and I was at 38%, and I got my 40% for the new mats to take SDL up to 40. I was stupid and I took IG to 40 first after realizing that.
SDL I'm still on 39 personally. So.
But yeah, you got to get through to level 4, and then you'll get those mats to take 1 up, and then the second you got to get 1 to level 4 or 40% rather will be your, and then you can do both.
Yeah, but like Jotaz from a couple days ago, literally I'm at 98% on him, and every single time I try to get to the next tier, I will always get a back-to-back turn where he just like kicks and throws the rock, and it'll kill him off immediately.
Yeah,
it's just like tap. But there are plenty of people that are in the next tier. Even for this boss, there are people in the next tier. It's like, and for whatever reason, the RNG is not with me, and I'm just like,
because you didn't pay enough, Karth. Come on.
I mean, I'm not taking anything to 81 yet until it matters. But but yeah, no, I think the ATST is the most annoying boss. I think everything else is relatively like mechanically fine. The ATST is just like, do you just sit there and wail on one guy until they die and then the fight's over? Because that's what feels like it happens half the time.
How many debuffs did you resist when you can't even mod or anything? So
yeah,
your RNG.
How many times did you crit? Like, oh my god, dude. So many things that I'm just like,
or not get crit yourself.
Yeah, dude. Honest to God, that is like the thing. That's what some of my other feedback on Coliseum was. It's like you literally leave so much to RNG that it's not fun. Like it's just like I am stuck on being where I'm at, and it's not costing me rank rewards yet, so I don't care. But if it was costing me rank rewards, I would be very upset because it's like I can't do anything about it. Like it's just RNG. All I'm waiting for is RNG.
I will tell you right now, if there is any prospective content creators out there or want to get into something, you could make a Coliseum Discord, you could make Coliseum videos, and I almost guarantee you will be successful because I've looked around and there's a little bit on events, there's a little bit out there, but there's not a lot of information, there's not a lot of community like coming together right on it. So I guess maybe because it is competitive in the sense of like being the auction house or whatever. Maybe people don't want to give their advice out there or whatever. But yeah, if you ever, there's a niche and there's an opening there for Coliseum info because there's not a ton out there right now.
Yeah, true. Now, I know you are pressed for time at the moment, Canada Fair. How much time have you got left, bro?
In 4 minutes, I gotta go. I gotta take my kids to Scouts. So
all right, we got 4 minutes. Yeah. All right, let's do this. So Tosh asks, Darth Jar Jar asks, for the 5,000 error points next week, do you think you get 5 Gear 12s or 1 Relic? He says Relic 6, but I think it's a Relic 5, isn't it, for the Erodium Lightspeed tokens? Or I suppose, do you save for Relic 10 mats?
If you have 5 Gear 12s that you need to work on, that for sure. Because the Relic 6 in mats alone is not worth the gear value for the 5 Gear 12.
Yeah, you spend way more in gear.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely look at it as what's your bottleneck, because 5,000 Gear 12s, well, 5 Gear 12s, right? That is 1,500 Kyrotech, right? Is that math I just made up? 300.
It depends on
the unit, right? If you are using it on people that need 300 Kyrotech per Gear 12, yeah, you take 5 of them. that's 1500 Kyrotech. If you do it on one Relic 5, that's 400 Kyrotech. So you're looking at a difference of 1100 Kyrotech. Now, if your Kyrotech hordes are absolutely fine and you're not bottlenecked by that, then maybe you go for the Relic 5, right? But if you're looking to just save the chunk of gear, I think getting the 5 gear 12s is better, personally.
Yep,
It's like,
I would agree with that.
I'm sure the tokens, unless you're very late game, and even then, like Karth was kind of talking about it, like breaking down your Kyrotech for the G10 pieces and stuff. Like what you can get with the raid farming is like, unless you're like spending crazy, like top 5 for Coliseum, that should be enough. Like I'm sitting at 40 right now, and I haven't even got my second. I'm close. I think I'm like 18 mats or whatever for the Coliseum currency, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So. I think the answer would be Lightspeed tokens probably for 95% of the player
I
base.
think most people can safely ignore getting Relic 10. Just focus on saving yourself shitloads of Kyrotech is how I would.
But you know those people will, in 3 years from now, be like, I wish I'd have so much more.
It's like, never mind that I managed to get, like, I don't know,
yeah, never mind, I'd never
Starkiller
be here if I didn't. Yeah, exactly.
And all these other farms in like 3 weeks instead of 6 months. But yeah. Look at your bottlenecks, I guess, guys. And late game players are the only people that should really be worrying about Relic 10. Because there's nothing that I can use. Oh yeah, okay. One last question then. Tosh asks, will we get kits in the future where a character has bonuses or special abilities that at certain relic delta differences?
No.
That was always the argument because of the placeholder data on .gg, I think, right?
Yeah, it's not designed to be used that way. It's literally just to bring the floor up as relic levels cap increases. It's not designed to be used in kits because it would be the same issue we had with Aphra and her 5v5 only GAC Amis, is that the character's power is throttled to circumstance, which is a dog shit way to play the game. And they fessed up to that when they made all the 3v3 and 5v5 specific Amis half the cost, because it's stupid to play that way. So I don't think they'll ever do it.
Yeah, if CG is listening, I'm glad, like you're right, Kurt, they did it in half and got away from it more. Because they're so limited as is, like it'd be one thing if you could use like say we had a 3v3 TW or something like that, fine, if you could use them across, but you're using them for one game mode and one game mode half the time. People just aren't going to look on them for value, right? Unless you have them already. So, and it's just not fun because you get like a theory crap, you get something going, you're like, I just want to use this in 5. So I hope in the future they stay away from that.
It's the same reason why we haven't had an Omicron for this raid, right? There's no Omicrons in this raid, probably because CG nobody's going to really want to use it. You know, like they want it for TW, they want it for TB, they want it for GAC. Occasionally, I do think we'll get more for Conquest, but I think they'll be very rare.
You got to have POW level. POW level, and you'll get investment. But other than that, no. It's just not worth it, right?
I think rather than abilities with a relic delta difference, I think we'll probably see more abilities that scale based on your relic level. So like Omega's got, you'll gain X amount of stats per relic level that you have. I think Temple Guard's got it on crit avoidance.
Ray's Whirlwind is another.
Ray's Whirlwind is one.
Omega heals based off of her relic levels. It's 5% for every one that she has.
And I think Temple Guard gains crit avoidance for every relic level that he's got. It's something like that. So yeah, I think we'll see more of that, but certainly no relic delta difference abilities. I hope anyway. It just doesn't really make sense to have that, because then if you're relic 9 facing relic 9, all of a sudden that ability is worthless. It's like, okay, great.
Yeah, it's not worth the invest.
All right.
I'll let you guys finish off and say the goodbyes. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun, and invite me on again. And
100%.
Like you guys see the schedule, trying to make this work. As long as I get a little bit of lead time and clear it with the boss.
Absolutely.
About that. So thank you, chat, for tuning in. And it's fun. And I think Scribe, you're in a pretty good place, but don't let this,
Yeah, never will, mate. Never will.
It's off your back, and we're on to the next thing. So
hell yeah.
Good luck on GAC here in 20 minutes to everybody, and we'll talk soon. And
thank Canada, bro. Good night,
dude. As long as I possibly could, right to the wire. So
yeah.
thanks, guys.
Cheers, dude. Bye.
Catch you next time.
Oh, fuck, all my cameras are fucked. Okay. Right. Okay. All these people
Beautiful.
listening at home are like, "What do you mean cameras?" All right. Let me sort Karth out real quick. Actually, no. If I can't I just if I just do this? Hang on. No. Wait a minute. Let him cook. Boom. Boom. No. Boom. That works. There we go. Sorted it already. God, I'm good at this. Let me just close that real quick and then open it back up. And that should fix the pixelation issues. There we go. You look beautiful again, Karth.
Thank you.
All right, cool. So let's keep pushing with the questions. It was good having Canada Effect on here. It was a good guest.
Yeah.
It was a good guest. Okay, so we've done Tasha's question. Next up comes from Jimbo Slav. I have many 7-star characters for journey guides and lots of times halfway there relic-wise. JMK, C, loads of other characters, all conquest characters. I just don't know what to go for anymore. I have a plan to finish Leviathan, 3 relic levels left, and get Zepho ready. Then I'm lost. What to go for? Jimbo, it's really hard to do roster advice when it's that broad.
Without any other context.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that there are easy answers to this question. Is that A, rate improvements, B, events that give economy returns like the Pretty Troopers, the Pow and Qui-Gon Jinn, getting Glad up there for her event, Leia for hers, Jabba for theirs, Hondo for his. Those are kind of like the default go-tos. Is anything that helps you with your raid currency, anything that helps you with in-game economy events. And then after that, it's you fill in the void with whatever tickles your fancy. If you really want to have heavily invested Star Killer squad and take that team up to Relic 9 and go bananas with it, then it's about passion project. At that point, you got to figure out what you like the most. Once you're done with everything else that's required, then it's all about passion projects. And so that's then just pick your favorite faction, your favorite team, try to figure out how you can get the most out of it and run with those. But for the most part, what everybody should be focusing on once they kind of get caught up on all their farms is then whatever relates to economy improvements
always
in the game.
Get your Duel of the Fates up, get your Peridia Patrol. Think about how can you, even to a degree, if you can save your crystals to jump on stars for new marquees, just bumping them up a couple of levels so that I know a lot of people seem to think that stars are now worthless on marquees thanks to the era leveling system, but we are still getting era battles, guys, and they're coming at the end of the era. So when we finish the era, we're going to have era battles for the era of the anniversary. You're going to need to have 7-star characters with high levels of relics in order to benefit from those. That's a very much an end game or early whale position, right? End game players can jump on these character shards, then get up to 7 stars, and they can start benefiting from having 12 recurrences of getting 5 additional Gerda keypads, right? And that's significant. That really helps you keep your relic levels topped up all the time. But super late game experience there, but definitely economy focused farming is important, and that includes stuff like raid teams, TB teams, that sort of shit.
Yep. That was actually the most just a quick sidetrack from that. That was actually one of the most intriguing guild posts I read in a while, is how much extra get 2 and get 3 their guild brings in per TW, because their entire guild is focusing on it. Getting an extra 10k Mark II was like, damn, that's really tempting. That looks so nice.
I know, like in more Erodium, where I'm at now is we hit 49 stars, which is like the second highest. I think only Chromium is beating us at the moment at 50 stars.
Yeah, got quite a bit of GP throw around.
Yeah, well, that's the biggest guild in the game, right? And the amount of get 2 and even get 3 that you get, because so many people are just doing those special missions, it's massive amounts. Like when I say focusing on TB, I don't mean relic 9ing your team so you can use them in the combat missions. No, I mean get ready for the special missions. Do all the special missions that you possibly can do, because that translates into more and more gear, more and more Kyrotech, more and more everything that you need in order to keep relicking or breaking down materials into relic mats. It makes a big difference in the long run. But yeah, it's all good stuff. Economy is important. Next up, Roy is in the chat, Garth. Can you imagine what his first question might be?
Oh,
how's Skeleton Crew, Garth? How's Skeleton Crew?
Honestly, it's not next week. I got a very busy week at work next week, so I won't do anything next week. But from Friday of next week, the 19th, till the following Sunday, I am on vacation. So I will probably have some time to sit down and haphazardly pay attention to Skeleton Crew.
So maybe this year. Okay. This was a double-barreled question here, though. Out of the new releases for new content, what excites you more? Photo, Fate of the Old Republic, or Galactic Racer?
I mean, let's be honest.
There's only one right answer to this, Garth. Let's be real.
Neither.
What? Fuck you!
No. The studio that's producing that game is brand new.
Yes.
So the reality is that game is at least a solid 5 years out for development. So
actually, I don't want to be that guy, but Casey Hudson, the guy who's producing it, says it won't be 2030.
Oh my God!
What did you do?
I lost the arm. I lost my arm. I'm holding it now. I pulled on it a little too hard.
You tugged it too hard, Garth.
I gave it a good yank. It has. No. My lack of faith in Casey Hudson comes specifically from the I'm gonna have to figure that out later. We're just gonna hold this for the rest of the Tribe Talks.
You can operate the rest of this stream as if you are Arnold now, holding your microphone.
Yeah, holding my microphone. No, the guy who absolutely tanked Anthem, I don't have a lot of faith in his word, and I don't mean that to be disparaging against him in particular. I'm just saying is that we have been over the last big project they did. They over promised and under delivered by spades. Yeah. I think it will be different with this one for 100%. I'm sure of it, but I don't want to get any hype into it, man. Like it looks cool.
Too many times.
Yeah. Until the game is 10 days from release and it doesn't look like utter dog shit, or the UI doesn't match up with anything in the game, so that it doesn't matter anymore. Like I don't care.
I was so disappointed in Anthem, man. That game looked so cool.
It looks so good, and it just fell utterly flat on its face. And so it is what it is. But like I'm excited for another Old Republic game. I love the era and as a time frame for Star Wars. But my hope in it is just zero, because unfortunately that's what the Star Wars games have done for so long, is that they just they promise. I mean, I'm still waiting for Star Wars Eclipse. That was 3 years ago they announced that, and we got like an update.
2021, the advert for that came out.
We got an update on it that they're still like shopping a development studio for it. Like
the thing that gets me, that's Quantic Dream, isn't it? Is it Quantic Dream, the producers of that? Have you played their games? Like, I've played a couple of them.
No, I haven't. No.
But they are story based. From what I gather, it's kind of like the Telltale games, you know, where it's all just like choice based games. But the ones that I've played from them are like Heavy Rain, and Detroit Become Human and stuff like that. And those games are actually really fucking good. They're not really gameplay mechanic games. They are, you know, they're just narrative based games, but they are usually really high quality. And so it got me really excited. I was like, yeah, let's have a really cool narrative based Star Wars game. But it's really hard to be excited about a game when 4 years later there's absolutely fucking nothing. What is it about Star Wars games that just like they disappear into this void that they can't do anything?
It's like not even alpha footage. Like that's the biggest part that I struggle with. It's like there's nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my only issue with it. Yeah, just don't mind me twirling my microphone around.
It makes the audio quality sound great, Garth. I mean, it's like you're on a carousel. You're on a carousel and you're like, so anyway, and then I was going to, anyway, you fuck Casey Hudson.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, and I apologize for that. But my brain wouldn't let it go. I couldn't just let it sit there. I had to fix it.
Yeah.
But anyways, my point of it still stands. Is as excited I am for more content from that era, as much as I want there to be from that, I absolutely refuse to get excited about anything that's just like, well, it's in development. And I'm like, yeah, but like, look at how many Star Wars things they announced in like 2020, 2023, and 80% of those are canceled. It's just like I
must be excited for Galactic Racer because that's coming out next year.
I don't even know what that one is doing, to be honest with you.
It's a racing game.
Yeah, like Need for Speed or like...
Well, I mean, the company that's producing it is called Fuse Studios, and they are literally ex-devs from Criterion, which are the guys that made Need for Speed. So yes, kind of. Oh. Quite literally. So I think they formed, I don't know, a couple of years back, 2020, something like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a big racing head guy. I never have been, but I'll take any Star Wars sort of game at this point. I'll be honest.
I mean, these are the kind of things that should have come out when EA bought the license. Is just random bullshit games, because I was talking with Tasnix the other day, and it's just like, there hasn't really felt like there's been a great Star Wars game in a long time, and everyone's like, well, what about this game? What about that game? And I'm like, well, it's an easy answer. When the bar has been at 0 for 2 decades. Anything that gets over the bar is considered a great Star Wars game, but like in the reality is that it's nothing. Like there's nothing about it that's truly transformative, unique. It's just they finally got one out the door that didn't suck so bad that we all threw our nose up at it and walked away.
I will be 100% honest. What would actually make me cream my pants is if Larian Studios did a Star Wars RPG. Like if I got that. Yeah. I wouldn't play another game again for about a year because that's all I would play. Like, but that's unfortunately, it doesn't feel like that's ever going to happen. I don't think Larian enjoyed their production time on Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, it's the reason why I never played Baldur's Gate past Act 1 because I spent so much time in their beta or whatever the hell. Oh, right, yeah. So when the full release came, you were already burned out.
I was burnt out. I had no interest in going back. It doesn't matter how good the game is. It's just like I don't care. Like it doesn't really. And that's why, like even like Star Citizen's the same way, and a couple other those big games.
This Karth is also very, very particularly why I refused to play the beta of Baldur's Gate 3. Like it was out in early access for like 2-3 years, and I was just like, I'm not playing it forever. Not playing it at all until it comes full release, because Baldur's Gate 2 is probably my favorite game ever in existence, and I was a massive fan of Divinity Original Sin, and they've just announced Divinity, a new game, their next new game, which is, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a prequel to Original Sin, or I think it's supposed to be something like that. But like, I was a big fan of Divinity Original Sin 2, so when they were doing Baldur's Gate 3, I was like, fuck, this is going to be amazing. And I was like, I don't want to be waiting for an unknown amount of time to figure out what the full game is. So I want that. I would love it if they would do a Star Wars based game in that same style, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I don't think they like having that big overlord that tells them what they have to do and when.
Well, and the thing of it is too, though, is like when Ubisoft came out with Outlaws, it wasn't that Outlaws was a bad game. It was a Ubisoft game. That's the problem that it was.
It had elements in it that were very good and enjoyable. I genuinely think if that was a linear single player game, it would have been much better.
Yeah, exactly. Personally. The open world almost killed it because it became an open world version for Star Wars in a Ubisoft format, which is not something that Star Wars has really had a lot of exposure to. And so it's like, open world in Star Wars, people want more of like the MMO kind of vibe where it's like I can go do what I want. There's other things around, but the game was so on the rails. It would have been better if it had been formatted the exact same way Jedi Survivor was, where it's like, yeah, there's some left to rights on what you can do, but you're going this way.
The pacing was the problem with that game was the pacing was completely fucked because it was like you're going through this and all of a sudden it's really imperative that we do this absolutely now, because if they do this and this, then the whole fucking thing's going to go to shit. And you're like, all right, cool. Let me spend 40 hours going off collecting random collectibles
and an immediate left turn
and raising my reputation with these 4 random factions and playing Sabacc.
And the thing is too, though, is that they made it like, so the reputation system was so in my opinion, it was really half baked, because
it was as deep as a puddle.
It was they developed it for end game and not to be interacted with much at the beginning. But if you went through at the beginning and maxed out your reputation before you progressed the next planet, you didn't meet the other factions. And so there were no consequences for getting max rep. There was no balance anymore. So it's also like, well, now when I
Pike
get to
Syndicate, let's get max reputation with these guys straight away.
Yeah. And then when you get to the next one, all you do is go, okay, well, I'll take a little hit on the reputation now for the Pike Syndicate to keep maxing out this new faction.
Yeah. I'll get the Crimson Dawn up. Yep.
I'll get it. and then the other, whatever the Ash Cole or
the
whatever.
Huts. It was the Crimson Dawn, the Huts, the Pike Syndicate. Who else was there?
There was that one random faction that I've never heard of before.
I can't even remember.
I want to say. But you just kind of there was a lot of things about the game that
and then it didn't amount to anything. That was the weird thing.
Cosmetic unlocks and the only reason
as well, right? There was nothing.
Well, yeah, there was. Well, the only one that made a degree of sense, sort of, was the Crimson Dawn, but it didn't really matter because Kiara overlooked everything anyways to move the plot forward. So there wasn't like, increase your reputation to XYZ before these missions unlock and they restore a narrative. It was like, yeah, if it's part of the main story, we don't care. Anyways, I don't want to get too far into the Outlaws debacle, but the short of it is that like, if they had marketed the game as something else, it would have done better. And I think they did do a very common Star Wars trope where they overpromised and underdelivered. And so, like, again, looping back to the new FOTOR, is that I refuse to be excited about a game that can't show me game footage. In addition to that, has no release date. Like, I'm out.
Let's be real. Let's be real. They should not have done an announcement trailer. I'll be honest. They shouldn't have done, because the company formed in June of 2025. They're not even 6 months old.
Yep.
Why are they putting out a game? They're not going to be game ready for years. Like,
well, yeah, they're assuming that the game would be ready in 2030 is what they're anticipating the earliest release of this, unless the new company formed out of buying out an old studio. And they're able to walk away with some stuff. It's a bunch of
previous KOTOR devs and other people, I guess. But it's just like why is the games industry like this? Where they're like, we don't have anything to show you, but we spent a couple of $1 million making this cinematic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's been the response from a lot of people. Is like, you don't even have alpha footage, so it's like, why bother showing me anything that doesn't look like there's an actual game here? And so the
concept of it gets me very excited. I
love the era. I love the story. I like what they're trying for, but I have been so let down by like holding on to any game being good that I'm better off just putting blinders on. And then when the game falls in my lap, enjoying it for what it is. I have found that as an adult, not hyping myself up for games makes me enjoy the game I play for what it is. I don't get in my head about what it should have been or what else could have happened from it, and I let it ride. And so that's what I'm going to keep going with every new game that comes out. I don't care until it's 10 days from release. When you have a release date on it, then we'll talk. Okay. But until then,
Karth's not excited at all. I'm excited for FOTOR more than... I'll play Galactic Racer, but I'm more excited for FOTOR. Next part of Roy's question, because he comes in threes, like all good things. After one more round of Conquest, we are going to be having fun with The Stranger. What new unit, or maybe ship, do you hope will be the next Conquest unit?
I'm hoping we get a ship, because I'm praying for a new fleet meta.
Same.
And I would take any and everything Imperial Remnant and somewhere pull a new capital ship out of your ass. I don't care if it's Moff get DTMG on
Try Defender.
On a cruiser. I don't care. I don't care what it is. Just give me something that is different
Eli
from a
Vanto. All right. We need Eli
Well,
Vanto.
unfortunately, it probably needs to be light side though, because the last capital ship was dark side. So I mean, I'll even take
That's
New
actually
Republic.
a good point. Yeah.
I'll give me a New Republic capital ship. Give me something with Sabine piloting, with Hera piloting,
well,
with
you'd have
Ezra
to have
piloting.
Glat's ship from Ahsoka.
Yeah, but they're not going to
not
make a GL a pilot. But you can give her the ship
because she's not a capital ship. So
yeah, maybe. I think it would the power level would be
Hu Yang and Glat as pilots.
Oh no, Hu Yang and Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum. Get wrecked.
Yeah, but also when you're flying, Glat has to be on top of the fucking ship for some reason.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah.
Get out
there and deflect.
So yeah, I was going to say she has to have there would have to be some sort of retribution mechanic, right? Where if she gets hit, she hurts the enemy ship, right? So they come in for an attack and she cuts off the wing. Obviously.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, the reality is that if they, depending on where they want to go, there's a lot of other options they could do. They could do a mercenary fleet, and have a mix between like the Mandalorian characters and potentially the mercenary characters, and put a fleet together with that.
And they could even they could do Bam's Naboo Starfighter, and he could be part of New Republic as well. He could be Scoundrel New Republic.
They could do a pirate fleet still. I mean, that's still on the table. You've got tons of options for pilots now.
Yeah.
That you could run with. So I mean, there are all kind of things they could run with if they really, really wanted to. But I would take any fleet meta. If we get a ship as the next conquest unit, it's indicative of a new fleet meta.
I can't wait.
And if it's not, because it would be a great time to introduce it, because I think the conquest unit after that comes with in May will probably be the conquest unit leading into the next GL.
Yep.
So
that leads nicely actually on to Roy's next question, which is, are we finally going back to an era with KOTOR after this current era is finished? What do you think, Carl?
I think the next era will be something with Imperial Remnant, possibly Inquisitor, possibly Mercenary. I feel like they're laying some groundwork for a few things. But they have enough going on this year where I don't expect them to deviate too much, between trying to get the new raid out, the new GL out, trying to stay current with the current media releases that are coming this year. You know, you've got the Mandalorian Grogu releasing this year. You have Ahsoka season 2 releasing this year. So if they are keeping trend with everything they've done over the last 3 years, it's that we're going to get content that revolves around that push, which is fine, no big deal. But I don't expect anything outside of the current media releases until probably next year, when they'll have a lot more flexibility, because there's just nothing on deck. Which I don't want to wait that long. I would love to go back to KOTOR. I would love to go back to the EU. I would love to do anything besides the new releases, because I just don't have.
There's nothing pointing to it, is the thing.
No,
there's nothing pointing to it. And the thing that I will keep bringing back is when we had all of the data mines for Relic 10 materials, and it looks like we saw in the data mines the Relic 11 material as well, which is called, I think it's called the Converter. So in the game assets that Swigger.gg data mined, we saw the Relic 10 map, the server motor, and we also saw another one called the Converter that looks like Relic 11. There was also a background picture, which is the same sort of background picture that they use for their error. You know how when you look at the error track, there's always a background picture that goes with it. The pirate one had like that planet where all the spaceships dock with, the kids go to. So they got one of the background pictures there, and I run it through a Google image search, and it's Batu, right? And Batu, from what I gather based on searching about Star Wars lore, it's all to do with the Black Spire, it's to do with Thrawn Ascendancy books, it's Imperial Remnant. To me, it feels like the next era is definitely going to be Imperial Remnant focused. It's going to be Thrawn focused. So that's where I think we're going next.
I feel like it's somewhere in between the three of Imperial Remnant, Inquisition, and Mercenary. They'll tie all three of those together because, like we said last week, I have a speculation that they're going to try to form up a new Inquisitor team because of how they worded things. Because of Barris's change in her ideal team being a full Inquisitor team that she leads, which makes no sense if you have Reva and GI available. So unless it's like one of those things with Luke, where it's like, well, this is who you would use until you have that. But if you have all of those, you have GI. So why would you? Anyways, it starts a whole debacle of questions that come with that. But I would say at least probably like Mercenary and Imperial Remnant are high on the list of possible options because poor Baylan needs two others.
Help.
He needs help,
especially currently with Marok actually getting stripped away from Baylan quite frequently now for other meta teams. He really does need more. And CG promised when Baylan was released that we would get more and more mercenaries with more and more different types of Soldier of Fortune benefits that are going to round out the team. We haven't really had that. Yeah, we had Hunter and we had Wrecker, but let's be honest. They go with the new Bad Batch.
Yeah, they need to be dark side. Like it's one of those things to where I appreciate CG for releasing mixed teams because like Baylan's really great for leading the middle path TV planet special missions. With like you take Hondo, Vandor, Chewie, and young Han Solo on Vandor, and you can do a couple other ones, the other planets you go down. He's very good at leading those teams because they're all mercenaries on top of whatever else. So him plus the Merrick Army basically makes them auto.
I mean, Merrick Army kind of does a lot of heavy lifting. But
does a lot of the heavy lifting. But it's a good team to put under.
I need me an R9 Merrick. He's stuck at R8 right now.
But anyways, the point of it being is that the team needs a full flush out, and I feel like they tried to do something similar to what they did with Queen Amidala. Where Queen Amidala, they gave us 3 characters and go pick any 2 and it'll be fine. Besides Cat and Clone Wars Chewbacca, and Lumi, you'd be fine. Have fun with it. But they tried the same thing with Baylan, but the other team members just don't have the mercenary unique, and they all suffer for it. And it's just like, okay, either rework the old tunes to give me mercenary or give me new tunes.
It's like the mercenary faction is designed around the Soldier of Fortune unique, which is supposed to be every mercenary has their own Soldier of Fortune unique that passes to the rest of them. Yeah. And they only did that for the new mercenaries. So when they gave us like 20 different mercenaries or something like that, they retroactively applied it, but they didn't give them a unique benefit. And they said they only give that to new mercenaries. So
they only touched up like a handful of kits to meaningfully interact.
Exactly. It was like Hondo and Kira were the only people that got any love. But anyway, let's move on to the next question. A Lethal Goose asks, Scribe, would you ever do or be interested in doing deep dive videos on factions or teams? Things like how they function, an overview of how to mod them, and the teams that they counter or are countered by. So thank you, Lethal Goose. That's a good question. I've got nothing against doing that sort of video. I try to put out daily video content on Galaxy of Heroes because it's my job. I cover this game as a job, and the only way for me to meaningfully make money is if I have constant source of valuable content that I can put out, right? If people would watch deep dive videos on factions, team comps, modding, counters, I would do them, okay? Historically, they're not widely covered because people just are not interested. Unless I can clickbait that title into, oh my god, prepared team beats Pirate King Hondo. Like it's hard to market that sort of video?
Yeah, the answer has always been for every single content creator that has ever made those videos is that 9 times out of 10, what will happen is you make the video and 1% of the players actively looking at it will find your video and find it helpful. The other 99% of the time, they go to a stream and they ask the content creator directly, or they go to a Discord and ask the community directly for that help. And it's not like it's not good content. It's just that like it's a lot of production for, you know, suboptimal views. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that's not worth your time. It's just it's the work doesn't really generate enough output to make it
That
worth
is
it.
exactly it. That is exactly it. To make a video like that, it would take me hours, right? And I'm not against putting hours into a video, but if I'm putting hours into a video, I would rather put hours into a video that's going to get me 20,000 views, not 2,000 views. Because
or 1,000, yeah.
or 1,000. No, well, I at this point I've got to a point where pretty much anything that I put out Galaxy of Heroes related will at least get 1,000 views. But
Sure, yeah, no,
but yeah, no, I know where you're going with it, and I know this sounds really callous and stuff like that, Lethal Goose, and I want to put out good content, I really do, but ultimately, it is a case of time is money. I don't want to have to spend hours and hours and hours doing a video that nobody's going to watch. You know, like, because conversely, I could spend an hour doing a video that would get 10 times as many views. And it might not be as useful, but to me, it's more useful.
You can release a video about a game-breaking interaction.
Exactly. I could fuck over 50% of the player base by putting that shit out right before lock-in, but at least I'd make 100 quid off it instead of 10. So
yeah. Morals
actually,
be damned.
I haven't actually checked to see how much money I made off that video. I should probably do that.
Wait, hold on. Let me go copyright strike it real quick.
Let me just quickly demonetize myself real quick. I'm curious. Yeah, okay. So where is that broken video going into? Yeah, I made 70 quid, which is about $100. There you go. So yeah, you have an insight into creating money as a content creator. All right.
Yeah, the reality is that the content probably already exists, but if you're looking at something specific,
I mean, I know Tass does a lot of that, right?
Yeah, Tass does a lot of it, and he does a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only disconnect with Tass's content is that, you know, it's an ideal world where most people don't have, you know, hundreds of plus 25 seed mods or optimized offense or mods, and that's where they start to struggle with it. But that being the point is that if you want content specifically from one content creator, a very niche market's hard to get them to start investing into, because it's just it's a lot of work, not a lot of reward.
And yeah, I you know, I know a lot of people look at content creation in general as, oh, who cares, man? All you do is you sit down, you play games, you make a video. Like, what's the big deal, right? But realistically, it's a hell of a lot of work that goes into content creation, guys. It's not just, oh yeah, I sat down for 20 minutes. No, it's like you sat down, you thought about it, you recorded footage for an hour, you edited it for an hour, you posted it, you responded to comments, you have to take the personal abuse and the benefits, and it's a full-time job. Like,
yeah. Now, if you want Scribe to get content out every 5 minutes, just go subscribe to his OnlyFans. that is no thinking content.
I can take a picture of my flaccid penis in like 3 seconds. All right.
Yeah.
And I think I've made about $1.50, but it was easy.
I
content.
paid more than that.
Anyway, jokes aside, Running Bald Man asks, with Galactic challenges having gone the way of the dodo and my hair, I'm with you there, brother. Do you think that CG will start releasing Colosseum Omnis? And no, you can't level up abilities. You can't level up abilities. How can you get a Colosseum Omni? Doesn't exist.
No,
so
not gonna happen.
No, it's a good question, but no.
They would rather give you more reason to spend than give you an Omicron that you can't technically equip, because, you know, you can't gear your characters.
Yeah. Swiggo Marco asks, if a new raid is more than a year away, should CG drop it around the 50th Star Wars birthday and do a Death Star raid? Isn't that 77? 77? Was the original Star Wars? Was it 77 or was it 76? When did New Hope release?
Hold on.
A New Hope release date. 77. It was 25th of May, 1977.
It's possible.
They would be foolish not to.
They would be foolish not to. I can't see them having a strong need to release a new raid unless they want to tie the new raid to the next relic tier, but I can't imagine that being the case either. What I think they would do is they would move materials to the raid and still leave Coliseum as the newest way to get the newest relic level. But I don't see them having a large reason to push out a new raid right now, because this one's scratching the itch for a lot of people, and a lot of people are just now kind of getting their pirates up and running. So maybe let it ride for a little bit and say F it. Because I mean, hell, even Naboo ran almost 15 months. So not 15, sorry, like 13. It was just over a year for Naboo.
Yeah. Yeah, and we still don't have a Naboo planet in Broke. So
right.
Yeah, goddamn. All right.
New TV planets before new raid, please and thank you. That's my 2 cents.
We could have both, Garth. We could have both.
Shut up, you. One at a time. Oh, we know that CG's track record. Okay, one thing at a time.
We know CG is full of men and we can't multitask. So one thing at a time, please. Richie Fritch has another question. He says, do we know if they have a fix for Conquest and Relic Delta? What I mean is, if your teams are at Relic 8 and the first few stages, you kill them too fast to do feats for like debuffs and buffs and all that sort of shit. We believe, and you can correct me here, Karth, if I'm wrong, but the reason why Relic Delta is not active in this current version of Conquest is because they wanted time to prep to make sure that the next version of Conquest doesn't suffer from Relic Delta being a thing, right? It's like they're not going to introduce feats that would get fucked by people coming in with Relic 9 teams in Sector 1 and fucking all sorts of shit.
That was their design intent, was to take the extra, 7-8 weeks needed on the release to be able to retool that a little bit to make it make more sense for those teams. So my guess is that what we'll find is the earlier, I think what we'll find a lot is that the zones are going to be more about get, X kills, win X amount of times with X team or X character in place. I think we're going to go, it will appear to be more grindy on the surface level, but because of Relic Delta, it should be easier if you're at a Delta advantage to just kind of smash through those extra couple of battles here and there. But I think some of them it's going to be depending on the type of debuff, on the type of team, and whatever else comes along with that particular thing. But my hope is they do address it properly and they move things into a better situation for it. But I also have that kernel of doubt that they forget to make that change, and we get into it. And it's like I can't get a feat because I have to drive it to 1% to be able to score in the debuffs.
What I would really hope is that what they do is they introduce in the bonus node at the end of the sector.
Yeah.
So the bonus node where we farm Datacron materials, I would really hope that they would introduce a mechanic there whereby you can only win the battle when you use a granted ability. Sort of like the Death Star laser, the supercharged laser thing. Could you imagine if the enemy team is unkillable until you use this ability? So if you need to land a bunch of debuffs or a bunch of buffs, you can just farm that last team, and it's a 10-minute timer, and you can just go in. So that way, you still have the sector to go through. You still got to beat the sector. But if you get to the end of the sector, you've got a bonus node where you can farm a feat, and you can do it all in one battle. I would like them to do something like that.
I would be okay with that if they wanted to not remove those types of feats, but I I don't know.
Or they
I'm
can just
torn.
give us all a Night Sisters node with Night Sister Zombie. And,
Yeah. And
know,
don't use a single AoE because you'll blow up
exactly.
the entire board.
You just auto basic. and you just.
Without Quiggle. You can't take poor Quiggle.
You can't take Quigsy. Quigsy is off bounds. Yeah. So
but yeah, there are ways for them to work around it. That's the hope. Well, we haven't heard anything official from them yet.
No.
I'm assuming we won't hear anything official about it until they release the next conquest unit after Khmer finishes or the Stranger finishes. So.
It's usually once the conquest finishes, it's normally right at the end of it, we get the next announcement, or like a week before. So it's we're gonna get it like 6 weeks.
Yeah, it'll come with the content update in between the two conquests.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. So thank you, Rich. Next question comes from Rioric. What's going on, bro? Should R9 Peridia Patrol... Should I R9 Peridia Patrol or save the mats for Hondo and Ahsoka? I'm not sure when to R9 the bros. I'm 10 million GP if that helps.
Unfortunately, I needed context for this because it's like if you have Hondo and Ahsoka...
No, he doesn't. I don't think he does. Oh, no, he might have them, but...
He might have them, just not at Relic 9 yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's the context. Like, if you don't have the GLs yet, then I would be happier with Peridia Patrol because you have time. The event comes back once a month. You got time to get the mats kind of back from it to get the ROI. That by the time you get one, you get the other. But if you already have the 2 GLs, which I'm going to take the assumption that you do, I would rather R9 them because you need Hondo for Smuggler's Run. You need Ahsoka for her new economy event that will come back probably every month
every
or
month,
so.
Every month.
Yeah. I would take if you already have those characters, I would go after them. If you don't have them yet, then the Peridia Patrol gives you enough time to get the investment out of it. But that's kind of the rub on it.
I think he doesn't have them. Those are like his last 2 GLs because both of them have R9 requirements to unlock. I think that's the position he's in.
Possibly. Again, I need more context. I was going to tag him in the general chat to ask about context.
My personal stance on this is I have got 14.5 million GP and I still don't have the Peridia Patrol at Relic 9.
Rude.
Peridia Patrol R9 takes about 3.5 years to the RI to pay back. That's literally how long it takes because you have to do 3 Relic 9s and you have less chance of getting both Girder keypads and Aeromags and Droid Brains.
Because the Omicrons.
But because the Omicrons are on there, and in the current climate, you can also exchange Kyrotech to get Aeromags and Droid Brains. So it's it lowers the value. Yeah. And also, I'll be honest, they're not that useful. Like they're okay. Well, they're okay. But I would rather have Hondo and GL Ahsoka Tano. Even GL Ahsoka Tano has got her new economy event that comes back once a month, and it's confirmed by Meathead. That's a monthly event that's coming to us. I would much rather do that. That's just me. They are goated in TB. I do agree. They're very good in TB, but maybe one day I'll do them to R9. But right now they're not. My Enoch is R7. My Night Troop is R7. My Death Trooper Peridia is R8 because my guild wanted it R8, so I did that. But one day I will do it because it is worth doing, but it's a long Yeah, exactly. Like I've been playing the game for 7 years. A 3.5 year ROI, whilst still good, because this game is apparently going to live for another 27 years, Karth. While still good, it's like I don't feel like I need to do it right now.
No, it takes a long time to get the mats back. It's not with the addition of Ahsoka's event and the addition of Hondo's event. Those ones are a lot cheaper to entry to a degree. Now, Hondo's extreme tier isn't in the game yet, but you need him at Relic 3.
Yeah, They need to, but even the Relic 3 tier of Hondo is still actually the best mod event in the game. Like it's objectively it's Jabba plus 50% basically. It's just Jabba then some, and the R9 tier is that again, right?
Yeah. And then
but it doesn't exist yet.
Hondo tier gives speed mods instead of health mods, which is a nice change of pace as well.
Because they have CG have a thing for just always giving out health mods for all their events.
Well, they're like the most universal 2-piece set you can run with. So
2-piece set, but the most universal 4-piece set is definitely speed mods. You need far more speed mods than you do health mods.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So
anyway,
so my personal preference is get your GLs. But that's just me. That's just me. So thank you, Rurik. Trodat asks, Sabine was fixing / flying the ship when Ahsoka was on top of it. Not Huyang, just being particular. Okay, yeah, that's a fair enough comment. But the reason I said Huyang and Glatt as the pilot of those ships is that Glatt was living with Huyang for years flying that ship before she even had Sabine come back. Like, they could, if you want, they could have all three. They could have all three. If you want it to be a 3-man ship, go ahead.
That's like the Scythe having GI and Fifth Brother as the pilots. It's like they could have done a lot of other things. And that's like TIE Interceptor having Second Sister as the pilot. Like, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
I
just think that is still absolutely 100% Ahsoka's ship. It's not Sabine's ship, right? Like, that's her ship. She owns the ship, and Huyang is her partner, basically. He's hanging around with Ahsoka. Sabine is Ahsoka's Padawan by the end of the Ahsoka series. She takes her back under her wing as a Padawan. So I could see them all three, but it's not like you would have the ship be Padawan, Sabine, and Huyang. That wouldn't be the fucking ship. That wouldn't be the pilots. It has to be Ahsoka. It's her ship. So, yeah, I get it. Maybe they'll throw in Sabine as well. Maybe they'll throw in Sabine.
Or and we've got her own ship. Who knows?
In her own ship. We've got one final question here from Mole Inquisitor. And he says, any news on Jocasta bug being fixed or an apology for her event not being fixed? I love this. I'll be honest, dude. Because the way I look at it is this event has already been run one more time on my main account where I've already got it 3-starred. So if they have to fix it, and that means they've got to run it again. And I'll get more Relic 9 mats.
My guess is that it's going to go the way of the GG event, where they are going to shelve it till a later date because I guarantee you they are not fixing it next week. I guarantee you.
Oh, no. Meathead is already on holiday. He's gone. He's on vacation. Like, he's done.
I mean, he's not the one fixing it, though. Like,
No. But what I'm saying is there are already elements of the CG staff that are going on holiday.
That are out. Right? Yeah.
They're already starting their vacations. So
I would highly doubt that they address this next week. They literally have one update to push out next week, which is the Asajj information and all the fun Christmas packs to buy.
Asajj information is already out there. They pushed it the same time as Chewie. Did you see it come through with the data mines? With the data mines, they did it preloaded Chewie and Yoda and Asajj the same time.
They did, but they didn't. They preloaded part of the Asajj stuff.
Yes,
they did not preload. There, so basically, the next update is going to be a few little fixes and a bunch of packs. That's the update for the next one because they didn't release the packs for the Asajj event yet. Those are still off in the wind. So those will need to come because they're not going to be in the office when those go live because it's like January 30th. So they're not going to be anywhere near the game. So the odds of them fixing it this year is 0. What they'll probably end up doing 100%. Is they will say, hey, hopefully go, hey, our bad. Here is a make good. We will fix this sometime when we get back into the office. And then when it's fixed, we'll commensurately run the event again. But I think they'll just do what they did with the GG event when GG was unkillable, is they will just turn the event off until they have time to fix it properly.
Yep. Well, I mean, there is no turning the event off. It just really doesn't exist. It's done. Like, we're
Well,
not.
what I mean by that is that odds are they would be running the event during Christmas because that's common for them to rerun.
Yeah,
all the
maybe. Yeah, they might have run it at Christmas. You're right,
So
actually. Yeah, yeah.
What they would do is turning it off. What I mean is they won't run the event again until they fix it. Is what they're gonna
Yeah.
is what they'll say.
They might still run it at Christmas, but still broken.
And
And
then just tell them we'll get bent
yeah,
again.
exactly. And then we'll get extra runs. I mean, I'll be happy with
See
that.
what happens when you don't whale early? You get punished
just
by
fucking
bugs.
whale all the
Just
time, guys.
spend more money.
But I would expect the next time I would expect this event to come back is May 4th. So they've got loads of lead time for that. So I imagine they might fix it and they might run it 3 times in May. They might be like, "Here's Nightfall error, shitloads of times." Enjoy.
Yeah, that actually goes into a completely tangential piece of thing, but the part of what I'm putting together for Meathead when I get back from the holidays, and we have a couple more characters on our belt, and I get a better idea of how the era system's functioning. Because I've been holding back my feedback for that purpose, because it's like, the first marquee was like $450 to get to level 70 to level 80 in the first week. And then the second one was like $150. So a drastic step down. So I want to kind of see if it fluctuates or the trend kind of continues. But that's one of the things too, is that for the price of what it takes to get air level 95, I think there should be more compensation for that. And I think one of the things they should do is they give you like a title.
Yeah.
Like you're the anniversary champion, which means you have gotten every character to air level 95. You've maxed out the entire thing, right? And then that title is the key to unlock like era battles that run in the off week of the next era. So you get additional perks for maxing it out. Yeah. Now I don't think they'll come with this particular next era, but I have a whole slew of things that just like, I'm like, I want to see what the actual cost is versus what it ends out. And if it ends up being more than what it cost me before, and things of said nature, that'll help me dictate where that sits as to where the value needs to be. But as I can tell you right now, era level 95 has zero benefit for any long-term player.
And that's the part that worries me. It's a little bit confusing, a little bit weird. So I just want to briefly answer Don Senzi's question right now in the chat. He says, no, sorry, not Don Senzi, Boba says, Poncho Bros to R9 or no? It's very different. Okay, so when we were talking earlier about the Peridia Patrol rewards and how I would say don't do it, the reason I say don't do it for the Peridia Patrol is because it's 3 Relic 9s and you've got 33% less chance of actually getting the rewards you want, because they've got 5 Omicrons as a potential reward. And I'm not saying that 5 Omicrons as a reward is bad. It isn't.
It just skews your ROI.
It skews the ROI, right? Because you are investing in one more character, right? And you've got less chance of getting Gerda keypads, which is kind of the bottleneck, really, because you don't really want to be spending your Mark III raid tokens on Gerda keypads. You want to spend them on the detonators, right?
Impulse detectors.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Detectors, detonators. Why did I say? But whatever. So. And the other angle that I want to throw on this, and this might be a personal preference thing, but me personally, I would much rather have R9 Padawan Obi-Wan and R9 Master Qui-Gon Jinn from a PvP perspective than R9 Enoch, Death Trooper Peridia, and Night Trooper. I feel like the Peridia Patrol guys are more valuable than the Imperial Remnant dudes. Right now, as they currently exist.
You mean the Poncho Bros are more valuable?
Yes. Did I say Peridia Patrol?
Yeah.
I've had some whiskey. I
hear you.
Yeah, so I feel like the Poncho Bros are more worthwhile in a PvP perspective right now. And Peridia Patrol guys are not worthless. They are good, but
the reality is, though, is that this has been the case with the Poncho Bros since they released. Their team is going to be a meta staple at any point with any cron set, with any mechanics in play, because of how good that trio is. And you don't even need R9 Queen Amidala as part of that. The problem that has persisted with the Peridia characters is you only really end up using the 2 zombie guys, because Enoch is kind of useless dead weight the majority of the time outside of like TB. But then their usefulness is heavily predicated onto what Datacrons are around, because they were never designed to be without GL Thrawn, and that got delayed or shoved off or whatever happened there. And so they're not seeing their full potential of what they could have been, which is unfortunate. They were designed to be with 2 other characters that never came to the game. So their viability is stuck behind potential, where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, their viability is out the rip, ready to go. So they are 100% worth the investment, whether or not you really want the economy event that goes with it. They're worth the investment. The other ones, it's like, maybe 4 months out of the year you'll find solid use for them, but outside of that, you're not really doing a heck of a lot besides collecting dust, or maybe if you do take them up, you got some decent filler on an R9 planet and TB if you're getting to it. But I mean, if you're not there, that's a big ask for basically filler material. So
And we were talking about it when these guys first came out. We all thought that they were going to be a GL Thrawn.
Well, they said it in the post.
Yeah,
they had to go back.
They deleted it.
They deleted that.
They edited it, but people were under the impression that Peridia Patrol was basically going to form part of a new GL Thrawn team, and I still think long term that's probably where it's going to happen. We'll have Enoch, Night Trooper, Death Trooper, Peridia under GL Thrawn and a +1. I don't know if that's going to be. Rook? Is it Rook? The
assassin,
the assassin, or if it's going to be what was his name? Pelion. Yeah, Pelion.
It would be better if it was him. That would be like the best.
He would make more sense, but I can. Whoa, hold on. Whoa, Karth, clap your hands.
Why?
Because what's stopping GL Thrawn from summoning Rook?
Nothing.
Exactly.
And I would be okay with that.
He could be setting out a contract on the enemy team, and he summons a Rook. So there was a time where we all thought that that's what they were building towards, but it didn't happen. And it felt disjointed. So I think there was something disruptive in CG. But Karth, we have been going on for 2.5 hours. We should probably wrap up.
I mean, maybe.
Who's going to listen to a 3-hour Tribe Talks, guys?
The people that have been here the entire time.
Sound off in the chat. And people at home, if you are listening to this as a live recording, have you lasted this long? Give me a comment inside of Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Sound off in the chat if you have been listening since the start. Yeah. I'm still alive, says Eric Trussell. I just joined, says Alicia. Alicia's only just joined. Listen, guys, we can't do a 5-hour stream. There are so many people in the chat that are like, we've been here the whole fucking time, baby. The whole fucking time.
You got 126 watching on YouTube. You've got another 52 watching on Twitch.
Oh god.
So I mean, there's still quite a few
people like the Tribe Talks. Apparently, could we even hazard to say that this is the most popular Galaxy of Heroes podcast?
Probably could.
Maybe. What do you guys think?
I'm not a huge knowledge base on everything else that is there. That's the problem. That's the other downside. I don't know how many other podcasts. I know there are some. I just don't know whose. No, I know for a fact that they were planning on Thrawn. Thrawn got pushed back, probably because of what people have been saying is that season 2 would be a more apropos time. They've kind of walked away from releasing 2 in a year,
Yeah.
which is fine. And so I anticipate seeing Thrawn this year. It makes the most sense because
Thrawn's
again,
definitely coming this year.
Ahsoka season 2 is this year. Mando and Grogu is happening this year. So like I would be massively surprised if they didn't round that out. The only question in my mind is how do they tie the Imperial Remnant faction back together? Because in my head, I would almost be happier with them completing a separate team for Enoch and then giving
Thrawn his own team?
His own team again, yeah.
Well, who knows what we see in Ahsoka season 2? Who knows what we see in Grogu and the Mandalorian? They could introduce new characters that could fill those roles.
Well, I mean, look at Mando season 4. All of the Imperial Moffs. What was it, season 4, right? That was the last one.
Yeah, 3.
There was 4. Yeah.
Were there 4 seasons? Am I going fucking crazy? I thought there were 3.
Maybe there's 3. I don't know.
I think there's 3, dude. I don't think there's 4. Like and subscribe, says JC Nug. Thank you, bro.
There are 3. Okay, my bad. So look at season 3.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Of the show, and they have all the Moffs in there, right? They're at the meeting with Moff Gideon and everything else. So there is a substantial Imperial power base they could pull from with Thrawn into the show. And so I think that would be a lot more interesting because I think the downside is, and unfortunately, is while thematically and from the perspective of the big screen, introducing Enoch with the gold faceplate and the Night Trooper armors with that Asian style of fixing.
Yeah. I can't remember what they call that, but that's the thematic that they went with.
But the whole thing they did with that, it was really cool. But I don't think anybody really cared at the same time because it was just like they're just background characters. So I think if they're gonna do a Thrawn GL, I would be much happier with him having like the Council of Moffs kind of vibe, where it's like a bunch of new characters, a bunch of not new characters, but EU characters. They had some of the stuff. They had Hux's dad was a part of it. They had Captain Pelion as part of it. They had a couple other characters that were there, and so I think there's a lot more like EU they could pull from and make the make that interesting for a GL Thrawn.
I just need to address something in the chat. So Sol is talking about, don't know about pissing Ranger off, but Arnold left his stream running for 9.5 hours when the temple guards, the tomb guards, wouldn't die in Colosseum when he was doing 1 damage. He went to bed and left the stream going for 9.5 hours. I don't want to claim for that, but when we were talking in a Discord chat, I did say to Arnold, that's a moneymaker. Just leave the stream running and 9.5 hours. So,
People
Arnold
showed up and watched.
If people actually watched that for 9.5 hours, like,
I think
Arnold would have made serious money out of that. Well, not serious money. He would have made good money.
I think it was more of just that people put it on and then left it running.
But YouTube doesn't fucking care if you're there
they don't.
or not.
No, they don't.
Like,
as long as there is something playing it. But I mean, again, when it comes to Thrawn, I'm hoping they kind of take a bigger stab at the EU side of things. Like, I don't want them to take away from what they've done, but I think it's very easy to round out a couple of generic Night Trooper type things from Thrawn and fill out the Enoch squad and be done with it, or just form them under a different Imperial Remnant leader and call it a day. That's kind of where I want it to go.
So I got to ask Liluna, what do you mean I've irked Ranger? Like, if I said something on a Friday night stream, you can pretty much guarantee that I don't remember. All right. I'm frequently 15 shots deep on a Friday night stream, and I do not remember. What did I do that pissed off Ranger on Friday?
I don't think they're talking about you. I think they're talking about somebody else that was in
Oh, right. Okay. Okay, fine. If I did something to piss off Ranger on Friday night, I am completely unaware.
I mean, I guarantee if you did something to piss off Ranger, he would have already DM'd you about it and been like, "Yo, man,
Probably. Yeah.
was this drunk you talking, or like,
I mean,
did we got
let's be real. Ranger he's literally an army ranger. He's not exactly going to be a shy, weeping damsel in distress. He's going to call me a dick about it to my face. If he had an issue.
Yeah. Also, you take a lot of things on Friday night streams with a grain of salt because of the amount of inebriation.
A fistful of salt. You didn't join us, did you, Karth, on this last Friday?
No.
No, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you didn't. I still have to qualify that because it gets to a point where I actually don't remember.
No, I hear you. I was working late Friday, and so by the time I got there, it was just like, I don't want to deal with this.
we need to have another one. Although, I've basically nearly finished my Eagle Ray here tonight with you. So
I finished mine, so
I need to get another bottle because the one downstairs is already empty, Karth. I've finished both.
Well, on the plus side, at least for you, they're not very expensive bottles.
No, this is about $40, which is, well, it was about 40 pounds, I think, was it, for a bottle, which is probably like $55 basically. So I don't know how that compares to what you have to pay for it, but when we looked at that other one you were talking about, that was ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's an American company and the import on it was.
But the thing is this is made by Buffalo Trace, and Buffalo Trace is already a brand of bourbon that comes out to the UK on the regular anyway. They've already got those in ways.
Yeah. No, they probably have a plant there to get rid of that.
Friday nights are pure entertainment. I hope they are, because the thing is with Friday nights is it does get to a point. The first hour or two is okay, and after that, I've usually had too many drinks to have any real control over what goes on in the stream. And
I mean, once you finish GAC and get into there, you're pretty sauced, and I think everyone in the room is pretty sauced, which is the only reason why on Friday nights it's hard for me to show up sober.
I don't. That's your first mistake, Karth. You can't show up sober.
I know, but like by the time I get off work, you've only got like an hour left, and so it's like, you know how much whiskey I have to down in like 10 minutes to get caught up. Oh my god.
Listen, dude, you just need to stop working on Fridays. All right.
Not this next Friday, but the weekend after we can start from the get-go.
Melk, that's completely. I can completely understand that perspective of you can only enjoy a Friday night stream if you've been drinking. I understand that. The Friday night stream is not actually enjoyable for a wide audience.
Especially after GAC is over.
Especially after GAC is over. It is an experience. The Friday night GAC is basically a night out. It's like going out with your mates on the piss, where the plan is you go out to get drunk. It's like reliving your 20s. Except you forget that actually I'm fucking 37-year-old and I have no friends. So, so it's just me drinking at home alone. You can't come in sober and enjoy it. Like that is a thing. That is a thing. And I should probably stop doing those streams. I should probably stop. But
no, they're fine because the GAC content is entertaining still to a degree as long as you get to it.
Dude, that last GAC stream was my best.
2 hours
GAC
before,
match.
Yeah, but it was 2 hours before you got to attacks. I got a good laugh at that. It was like 4 o'clock and I got home and like you had just started like your second attack.
Dude,
I was like, oh my god.
That was such a close GAC. He had every advantage. The only advantage I had was that he was attacking slightly earlier than me. But
well, the other side of the stick too is that you whiffed a couple of easy fights because I think your inebriation allowed you to think something was going to work.
Well, the one that got me was, did you see the Wampa match versus his...
Yeah, no, I saw it. It was not a brilliant play.
No, dude, it wasn't that. Wampa did not counterattack.
Oh
At
yeah, I saw that
all.
part too. Yeah, yeah.
50% counter chance, 10 attacks, no counters, not one? Not
Yeah, no, I saw
one
it.
counter attack. I was like,
Yeah.
you bitch! That's an R10 Wumper.
Into
And
what, R8 Tuscans?
No, R7. R7 Tuscans.
That is actually hilarious.
Let me no, hang on. Let me double check. I want to be factually accurate here. Because we still won the match in the end, because you know I'm a badass. But let me just check. Those Tuscans were R5 R5 Chieftain, R7 Warrior, R7 Raider, and I was using an R10 Wumper, and we didn't get a single counter attack in like 10 attacks. Not one. 50% chance to counterattack. Not once did we counter. So we just got fucked. It was just ridiculous.
But I mean, at the same time, once that Wampacron disappeared, I don't plan on using Wampa for anything because there's too many.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
There's too many. There's too many fringe. What was the cron on the character?
I can't see it. You can't click it to see. It was a level 8 cron, purple.
Oh, so that was last set. Interesting. I wonder what they
let me
had
see
on
if I can find out which cron that was. I won't be able to tell you with certainty.
No, it's
oh no, I can tell you because there's only one. So it was a dark side 15% health and protection. You know, bulk cron level 3. Level 6 was a first order cron, and he had basically 120% potency and 150% armor pen. I mean, armor pen, fine, but still, R10 Wumper, I did not take a shit cron. It would have been fine. If we'd have counterattacked, we'd have hit them, we would have recovered health with the health steal. And that would have been, but like, we literally, like, by the time we took our first turn, we had like 10% health. It was like, we were in the red. I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't we get a single turn? And we had cooldown increase, so we couldn't do the slam, and then we just died. So it was stupid. It should have won, but it didn't, in my opinion.
But there was a lot of weird, but you know, still, it was one of those things where it's like, I don't like Wampa solo for that exact reason. There are too many things that are hard to adjust for without like a super strong prawn kind of carrying the character. So I'm just like, I'm just going to ignore so much about that character until there's another prawn supporting it.
Luna, I just want to confirm with you right now. You said we had somebody donate £100. We had 2 people actually donate £100 on that stream, which is fucking wild. It's crazy. One dude was high on life because his wife and him, after 3 years, I believe, were successful in their IVF, and fucking incredible, right? As a guy who's gone through it, it's painful, it's hard, it's heartbreaking. 3 years later, they managed to successfully do it, and if for some reason he donated £100, he shouldn't have done. He should not have done, but he did. And the other was Art Vanderlei, who just decided, right? But you're saying that you've never seen someone put their foot in their mouth as much. Are you talking about me or someone else on the stream? Because we were all pretty drunk.
I think they're talking about somebody else.
All right. You tell me about the streams with Ranger on Wednesday sometimes. I don't get to see the Wednesday night Ranger streams because they start at like 2 a.m. for me. And I can't stay up that late on a Wednesday. Did Trooper put his foot in his mouth? What did Trooper do?
We'll just sidestep that.
All right. Of course I was, Luna. Did you not hear about the £200 donation? I was like 20 shots deep before I even joined the rest. I don't think I was 20 shots deep. I think it was maybe 15.
Yeah, but, you were falling in there pretty deep, though.
Oh, I was rolling in the deep. Should we wrap this up, Karth? Because this is coming up to 3 hours.
Yeah, we should wrap it up. I think we're kind of meandering too much on the topic.
We are. Guys, if you like the longer Tribe Talks, let us know in the comment section. I don't do Tribe Talks podcast for money. I do Tribe Talks podcast for fun. That is actually the long and the short of it. I actually do this podcast because this is my one outlet where I don't have to worry about people clicking and people watching, because I don't make any money out of Tribe Talks. I do it because I want to have the opportunity to chat with Karth, previously Wolfie, but Wolfie is otherwise engaged at this point, and we get the beautiful opportunity to bring on wonderful members of the community, the wider Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes community. Certain people I would never have join on here, but many people I would, and I enjoy it. So if you like the longer ones, then let me know. Otherwise, good night. God bless. We love you all. Thank you for listening tonight, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Peace out and big love.